Good afternoon, everyone. This is Chris on IMTN Worldwide Radio. Let's try that again because it looked like my signal went down. Good evening, everyone. This is Chris on IMTN Worldwide Radio, and this is Around the ATL Side Notes. The topic for today is Trae Young. Before I get started, thank you to NBA.com for providing the highlights that I'm going to show today. I want to get that out before I forget. A couple of weeks ago, in our sports community, we lost somebody. I want y'all to keep your thoughts for the family of Eddie Carswell. Keep his family in mind, and if you knew him personally, of course. A couple of weeks ago, he passed away very suddenly. I keep telling people how it's still just a shock because I just spoke with him on some, just chopping it up or whatever, briefly. But Eddie is someone I've known for a while, for years. Met him only once, but primarily through online, social media. He was a really, really, really good person. Liked to have fun. He was a sports fanatic, especially for the Hawks, especially for Trae Young in particular, which is one of the reasons I'm doing this show. But also he talked about general things too, just to make you think, just to make people communicate, just thought. Some stuff was silly. Some stuff was hilarious, but some stuff was serious as well. And he always wanted to just get people's opinions on things of that nature. So he's going to be missed. So again, if you know his family, and if you knew Eddie personally, keep his family in your thoughts. I'd appreciate that. All right. So let's get started. First of all, I almost forgot. Also, make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio YouTube page. You see it scrolling down there. If you get a chance to watch this, please do that. Today is going to be I only picked 2:00 just because I had to pick a time. So I didn't really get to promote this show at all. So hopefully people get to watch it on the flip side, maybe after lunch or they get home from work or whatever. But subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio page and hit the notification button so that way you get to see the next show. You can also follow on Facebook and Instagram, IMTN Worldwide Radio, to watch Around the ATL. You can also bookmark the IMTN Worldwide Radio website, which also includes notifications and updates on the next show, articles, sports articles about Atlanta sports, and soon, hopefully, if I can figure it out, how you can purchase Around the ATL gear. Somebody asked me today, hey, I want a shirt. I can't even do nothing about it right now, so I'm working on that as well. Today's show is brought to you by IMTN Worldwide Images. So if you know somebody, just one person on the planet Earth that needs a photo shoot either for business or for entertainment or for personal reasons, family or whatnot, let me know. Go to the website. You could also follow on Instagram, IMTN Worldwide Images 1 on Instagram. Right. So Around the ATL Side Notes is a segmented show, which I don't do everything I would in a full 2-hour show. I'm only talking about one topic primarily. Okay. And so today's topic is Trae Young. And again, the reason I'm doing this show is really in lieu of, Eddie Carswell passing away. And again, I know he was a big Trae Young fan. So because of that, and because of some things that were said to me, I decided to do a full-blown show on Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. Okay. Now, later on tonight, we are doing a 2-hour show for Around the ATL as well, 10 o'clock. Okay. We'll be talking about the draft, obviously. So make sure you tune in for that, if anything. So I was told recently, well, first of all, this is, before I start with what I was told, there's a lot of people who feel that the reason that the Hawks lose games, all of their games, is because of Trae Young and Trae Young alone, because of his defense. That's what they say. Because he can't play defense, he alone, the team loses. Nobody else is responsible for playing any defense. They blame their defensive inabilities on Trae Young, one player. Okay? And I'm going to get into this a little bit, but I'm going to say it for the first time now. You're playing 5-on-5. Everybody has a job to do, no matter who you're guarding. You got to do what you got to do to stop that person, which is why I always do my Sunday night basketball videos, and I take real life and attribute them to the Atlanta Hawks to say, even if I got switched on the point guard, I got to run around with him until we can switch back, and or I got to try to stop that one person from getting a freaking layup. But anyway. So the reason that the Hawks lose all their games is Trae Young and Trae Young alone. Okay. But that means that Trae Young has to stop the point guard, the shooting guard, the small forward, the power forward, and the center, and the whole bench on the other team by himself then. He has to guard everybody. Okay. All right, fine. But also I was told that Trae Young is the reason that DeAndre Hunter can't stay healthy. All of Hunter's injuries are because of Trae Young. Now, I've never heard that before, so I don't know where all of a sudden that comes up at year after year where Hunter misses all these games. No one had ever said that before. But now all of a sudden, okay, well, Hunter, let's throw that in on Trae too. Hunter's injuries, he can't stay healthy. He can't play top-notch defense. He can't rebound. He can't get steals. He can't get no block shots because of Trae Young. Not because of the effort, not because of his inability to know where he needs to be all the time, not because he doesn't want to take the challenge and say, I need to stop that player on the other team because they're scoring all the time. It's because of Trae Young. I also was told, same thing with Murray. Murray comes from San Antonio. He comes to Atlanta, and all of a sudden he ain't the same defensive player because of Trae Young, one player. Okay. So I said, okay, fine. Let's talk about that then. So let's see if I here it is. So let's talk about Trae Young a little bit. So let's talk about the injury part first. In on the sports side of things, there's probably only really one sport at one particular instance in that sport where you could say that a player could be the direct reason why another player gets hurt. A quarterback can get hurt because his lineman doesn't get his block, or even a running back. Falcons, Patriots, right? And we've actually seen that happen. Last year it happened. First game of the season, Aaron Rodgers goes down, right? So there's an instance in that particular sport, a violent sport, that somebody's getting hit, okay? Another instance, I guess you could say, kind of on the side of that is a quarterback, quote unquote, leaving his wide receiver out to dry. Throwing it a little high, the wide receiver is defenseless, and a safety can nab him, right? That's another instance. But really, that's about it, right? Where you can say a player got me hurt. But that's on the offensive side of the ball, though. On defense, how could that ever really happen in any sport? Okay? Just think about that. That's like me saying, oh, well, this person set a screen on me, and now I got to play this point guard that's really fast, and now I'm about to get injured because he's about to do a spin-a-rooney on me, tricky dribble, and I'm going to get hurt because I can't play defense on a guard. No, that's not how life works. It's not. Sorry. Unless that point guard is like Steve Franchise and he dunks on you and he knees you in the face and breaks your nose. Maybe that could happen. But are Hunter's injuries of that sort? I mean, now I didn't have time to go through every game where he actually got hurt in the game to see what kind of how he got injured or whatever. But what I did do is this. Is Trae Young responsible for DeAndre Hunter having his left shoulder injured on November 8th, 2019? You can go look that up. Or his knee on November 26th, 2019. You can go look that one up too. His finger on December 2nd, 2019. His foot, January 11th, 2020. Trae was responsible for that. His finger, January 13th, 2020. His ankle, January 31st, 2020. His ankle again, February 6th, 2020. His left ankle, February 8th, 2020. Is Trae Young responsible for his ankle again being hurt, February 11th, 2020, 2019? Personal reasons, 2021. Blame Trae for that too, I guess. Throw that in there. Abdominal injury, February 25th, 2020. His knee again, March 8th, 2020. Right knee, December 3rd, 31st, 2020. Trae's responsible for all of that. January 23rd, 2021, knee again. January 30th, 21, right knee. March 26, 2021, knee again. 5/11, he was out for injury management. Trae's responsible for that too, I guess. Blame that on him. January 29th, ankle again. February 22nd, 2022, ankle again. He was sick on February 25th. Blame Trae for that too. Blame Trae for him to be sick again. These are all games he's missed, by the way. These are dates where he started missing games, not cumulative how long in between which ones. I didn't have time to go through all that too. But we know he's never played 70 games in a season, so you can kind of do the math. Sick again on November 21st, 2022. I said that. Sick again on November 30th, 2022. It says illness. Trae is responsible for him getting sick too. Hip. December 26, 2022. Ankle, January 23rd, 2023. Asthma. He's responsible for asthma as well. February 14th, 2023. Ankle again, March 24th, 2023. Knee again, March 30th, 2023. Knee again, April 8th, 2023. Quad, December 10th, 2023. I think I got these backwards, but it doesn't matter. December 17th, 2023. Knee again. December 22nd, knee again. February 1st, 2024. Injury management. February 4th, 2024. Rest. February 6th, 2024, knee again. February 8th, 2024, injury management. Why I keep saying that? February 10th, 2024, knee again. And then finally, April 10th, 2024, rest. Trae Young is responsible for all of that missed time. Trae Young is responsible for all of those incidences. And again, I didn't have time to go back through all the games to actually see what point, how he hurt his finger, how he hurt his ankle again, his knees all messed up and everything like that. That don't got nothing to do with Trae Young. You can't ever blame another man, for how you're not being able to stay healthy. That's just your body not being able to stay healthy. I've never heard that in sports before in my life, that you're blaming someone else for you getting hurt. Unless someone punches you, drop kicks you like in WWE, you can't say that. You can't do that. Paul George, when he got hurt in the Olympics, didn't blame anybody for him getting hurt. The Olympic trials, I should say, right? Michael Jordan didn't blame anybody for being out the season with that leg injury or ankle or foot, whatever it was. Kobe Bryant never blamed no man for his injuries. So I say that to say that's ludicrous, okay, to say a statement like that. Now, as far as Murray goes and saying, well, he can't play defense because of Trae Young. Okay, well, we're going to get into that in a little bit. What I want to do now is I'm going to go through some games now. I'm going to go through some games, okay? And over the next couple of weeks, I don't know how long it's going to take me, I'm going to go through each game of the season I don't know if I'm gonna go through all games. Well, I'm definitely gonna go through all the losses because that's the main argument that it's Trae's fault that we lose all these games. No matter what, it's Trae's fault. Only Trae, nobody else. Okay. So I want to start going backwards though. I'm gonna start at the play-in game actually. But before I do all that, what I want to do is, oh, by the way, when I go through the games, I'll be going through the score. What was the final score of the game? What all the Hawks players did in that game, the top 3 players on the opposite team, points in the paint given up, second chance points given up, fast break points given up, and 3-point I'm gonna repeat that because for some reason my signal is getting iffy. I'm kind of worried about this show now. All of a sudden, hasn't been happening lately. When I go through the games this season for the 2023 season, I'm gonna go through the score, mostly the losses. I might do all the games, but I'm not sure yet. But definitely the losses, because again, that's what people are saying. That people are saying that Trae Young is the reason we lose all of our games because of his defense. And that's it. Nobody else is responsible for doing their jobs. It's just Trae Young. So I'm gonna go through each game, and I'm gonna go through the score, what all of the Hawks players did in that particular game, the best 3 players on the other team, what they did, points in the paint given up, second chance points given up, fast break points given up, 3-point percentage given up. I'm gonna go through all of that. All right, and then we're gonna see if it was Trae's fault for each game. All right. But like I said, before going through that, what I want to do is ask a question. If defense at the point guard position was important, why did we go get Trae? We saw Trae be the leading scorer and assist man in college basketball. Hadn't really happened a whole heck of a lot in life, in history. I think one other time, right? No, I think he's the only one to do it. Why did we get him? If defense was such a big deal, why not get Colin Sexton? Young Bull. Y'all know I be talking about him all the time, right? As in humor. Or why not SGA? Why not get Shea? Gilgeous-Alexander. Why not get him? He was available. He was available. We could have got him. Some people might call it a reach, but this is the Hawks. Come on. We could have had him on our team if it was all about that. Why not even scratch all that? Why not just get Jaren Jackson Jr. and get those blocks and rebounds per game running around? But we didn't do that. We got Trae. So Trae wasn't brought in here to play. Trae wasn't coming in here to be the defensive stopper of the league. That was not going to be his job. His job was going to be to score points and get assists for people. He was going to be responsible for 20, 30, 40, 50 points a game, possibly, per his point total and his assists, which he's done that job pretty good, historically, NBA-wise, okay? But he wasn't brought in here to be the defensive player of the year, first, second team all defense. That'd been nice if he could pull that off, but that wasn't what he was brought in for. The thing would be what the other players are supposed to be doing. Just like with Steve Nash, just like with Mark Price and all these other guys, Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson wasn't the stopper on that Philly team that went to the finals. That was Eric Snow and the Kimbays and everybody else's job. And they got to the finals with that team. Pieces together. They fit. That's how that works, right? But again, why not draft a defensive player? But this is what the Hawks have done since 2006. We got Sheldon Williams. We got Al Horford, AC Law after that, Jeff Teague, Pop Say after that, Keith Benson, John Jenkins, Mike Dam Scott, Dennis Schroeder, Adrian Payne, Eddie Tavares. We traded Kelly Oubre and got THJ instead. That would have been something. Bembry, which is a pretty decent defensive player. I'll say that would be one. John Collins, he's pretty good. Tyler Dorsey, Alpha Kaba. Trae, of course, in 2018. We got Herder and Spellman on top of that. No defense there. Jackson Hayes, that turned into Hunter. We also got Cam Reddish. Now, that particular draft would be the one draft that we would say they went after some defense, but it didn't pan out though. Cam, not here. Hunter, still never first, second team, all defense, not even close. Okay. Doesn't rebound, doesn't block shots, doesn't get steals, doesn't do any of those things. Okay. Nobody be like, oh, he stopped Luka, he stopped Kyrie, he stopped Clay, he stopped Curry, he stopped the top scorer on the other team. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, I'm getting to that Boston series again soon. Okongwu, I could say kind of pointed toward defense with that one. Skylar Mays, Jalen Johnson, yeah, Sharif Cooper, AJ Griffin, Ryan Rollins, Kobe Buffkin, Seth Lundy. That's what we've done since 2006. Can't really say the Hawks were really focused on becoming a defensive-minded team with that group of draft picks there. And of course, since we don't do anything on the free agent side, there you go. Okay. But again, it's all on Trae. It's all on Trae. It wasn't important then, just now. Okay. Did you know? Okay. Make sure you follow IMTN Worldwide Radio on Facebook and Instagram, and make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio page on YouTube. There it is. Make sure you do that, please, if you get to watch this. So, did you know shooting guards in the NBA this past season scored 2,544 points on us, more than any other position? Now, the shooting guard on the other team, 75% of the time, is not being guarded by Trae Young. It's being guarded by DJ Murray. So if 2,544 points were scored against the Hawks this season, please explain to me how that's Trae's fault. And don't tell me, oh, well, they switch all the time. No, not that. And if anything, I can always say on my Sunday night basketball videos, why do you allow a switch to happen when you can hedge and or fight through the screen and stay with your man? Why do you allow yourself to be screened? You don't have to do that. It's not in the rule book that, oh, if they set a pick on you, you got to do. No, you don't. You fight through your man and stay with your man and force them to do something else that they thought they were going to do. Point guard scored 1,886 points. That's a big difference right there. Small forwards averaged 27.6 points a game against the Hawks. That is another position that Trae Young doesn't guard. Who's supposed to be guarding the small forward? The small forward. Small forward averaged 27 points a game. That's 30 points a game, y'all. So how do you attribute that to Trae Young having to stop the point guard, the shooting guard, and the small forward on the other team? Power forwards put up 2,024 points for this season. That's second to shooting guard. Centers only 1,334. That's mostly because, you don't really have a lot of centers that do a whole heck of a lot like they used to back in the day. Blah, 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 blah. But that's still 1,300 points. Right? So attribute that to Trae Young. Trae Young is the only reason we lose games because of his lack of defense. So nobody else on the team is required to play defense because Trae Young is on the floor. That's very interesting to me. Okay. And I hate that nobody's watching the game or watching this right now live, but that's okay. Because like I say, I didn't really promote. I did it last minute, really, on a whole bunch of pages or whatever. So we'll see. Maybe somebody will chime in and watch a little bit. So Dominique Wilkins. Let's side note this a little bit for real. Dominique Wilkins leads the Hawks in all-time scoring, right? He's second in points per game to Trae Young, actually, right now. By a little bit, but he's still in second. Dominique is tied with Trae in playoff scoring per game. Did you know that? Now, we know Neek never made it out the second round. We know. Which means he didn't make it to the ECF, Eastern Conference Finals. We know that. Which means, of course, he doesn't have a finals championship. He doesn't have a ring. Dominique Wilkins was never known as a defensive stopper. There's never a time where anybody said, Neek locked him up. Never heard it. Mostly because that wasn't Neek's job. Neek's job was to negate whatever was going on the other side by dropping 40 if he had to. He did that really good. Okay. One of the most dangerous people in the Eastern Conference for a long time. Okay. So, with his job being to score, okay, especially those Celtics series with Bird, right? All those Hall of Famers he had to go against. The reason that the Hawks could have a stretch where 4 years in a row they won 50 games in a row is because they put just enough. I ain't gonna say right, but they put just enough around him as a leading scorer to offset everything else where they could compete on a nightly basis and win in the East with the Celtics, the Bulls, Pistons, Cavs at that time. Remember that Cavs team had, Mark Price and Larry Nance Sr. and all those guys, right? Elo and everybody. But the Hawks are still winning 50 games a season. Running, gunning, right? Dominique dropping 30, 40, whatever it was, right? Dominique has one scoring championship, has a couple of slam dunk championships, but he does not have a Eastern Conference championship. He does not have a Finals championship. Neek has a statue in front of State Farm Arena based on what he did as an accomplished player in the NBA for a long time. That's why a couple of weeks ago I did a show called Accomplishments Matter. Okay? But my point is, Dominique has a statue without having a lot of the winning accomplishments that everybody would love, but we don't have them. But why don't anybody hate Dominique, but you hate Trae Young, who has gotten past the second round of the playoffs at least once? He's only been in the playoffs 3 years, by the way. Remember how our roster has been, right? Trae has led a team to the Eastern Conference Finals. We were 2 games away from going to the finals. Y'all remember that, right? Okay, that actually happened, all right? And Trae right now is pacing Hall of Fame numbers right now, across the board in all kinds of different categories. Those things matter because if they don't matter with Trae Young, they don't matter with none of the NBA players that have ever played in life, including all the Atlanta Hawks that you followed for 25 years plus. All that is thrown out, right? 2021, and thanks for those who've joined so far. Make sure you watch from the beginning whenever you get a chance, and you can chime in on the comment section. Trae Young in 2021 led the NBA in total points and assists. The only other player to do that was Nate Archibald. The next year, 2022, he led the league in assists again. And if it wasn't for the missed games that he had this year, he was probably going to do it for a 3rd straight year. He ended up 8th, believe it or not, in assists. Okay? Right now, his average, he finally qualified per the number of games he's played. He's only played like 400 plus games. He is now 4th in NBA history in assists per game. 4th in NBA history. And all of NBA, all the point guards who've ever played basketball, thousands of them, and all the Atlanta Hawks point guards, Trae Young right now is 4th in average per game. Okay? Not total assists yet, obviously. Don't be silly. He's 13th in points per game. Average per game. He's played 407 games exactly. Luka is at 28 points per game. Trae is at 25, just to let you know. Luka, by the way, also not known for his defense, but, if you want to get detailed, Luka takes 20 shots a game. Trae takes about 18 shots a game typically. By the way, Trae is ahead of Dominique Wilkins, who is 17th. Right in back of Bob Pettit, who is 10th. So Trae is right in there in that mix. Okay, pacing. Trae Young is 4th in the NBA in 30-point, 10-assist games. When I say 4th in the NBA, I mean 4th in history. In all of history, all the games that I've played, In the 6 seasons that Trae has played, he's 4th in 30.10 assist games. That means he's passing a lot, also able to score a lot when needed. Only Oscar Robertson, LeBron James, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook are ahead of him. And you know those 3 other guys are going to be retiring within the next couple of years, if not sooner. Trae has just played 6 seasons, and he's done that already. Okay. Trae currently has 3,000. I had to update this. 3,868 assists. He is the Hawks' all-time assist leader now. Okay. He's 138th all time. Okay. If he plays at least 8 more seasons and gets at least 644 assists a year, okay, he will be no less than 10th all time in NBA history. Probably a lot more than that, though, because I'm lowballing it at the 644. I did that based on this season, but he was hurt, right? Right now, he has more assists than Derrick Rose, Giannis, Pete Maravich, Penny Hardaway, just to name a couple of people. Next season, he plays the whole season. Depending on what Kyrie does, he might be past Kyrie. He will be past Spud, Grant Hill, Charles Barkley, Tracy McGrady, and Ray Allen. Trae right now has 414 steals total for his career so far. If he stays at his current average, doesn't fluctuate, if he plays at least 8 more seasons, he'll be no less than 4th all-time in Hawks history. He'll be over everybody except for Doc, Dominique, and Mookie. Okay. Interesting note, John Contract, gotta say it right. He has 515 steals total for his career as a Hawk. Kevin Willis has 581. Paul Millsap has 496. Al Horford has 482. Tree Rollins has 452 total steals in his career. Kent Bazemore has 430. Hunter has 174. He averages 0.03 steals a game. But his lack of ability to play defense is based on Trae Young. His injuries are based on Trae Young. That's what someone told me. That's why I'm doing this show. Hunter can't stay healthy because of Trae Young. Hunter has 174 career steals total, 5 seasons. Okay. Trae Young currently leads in 3-pointers made in Hawks history. He's ahead of Mookie, Joe, Kyle, and Bogey. All right, currently. More than likely, he's going to, if he finishes his career here, he'll be ahead of that as well. Let's talk playoffs a little bit. Trae has only played 3 seasons in the playoffs, 27 games approximately, right? The actual playoffs. I'm not talking play-in, just the playoffs. Right now, Trae has more points in Hawks history in any playoff run with 461. Neek is second with 374. So, you know, Neek had made the playoffs a little bit more than Trae, obviously, so far in his career. But Trae leads in just a single playoff run, playoff points. Okay. All right. Screen went off again. But besides the points, Trae also 9.5 assists a game in the playoffs. That leads everybody, obviously. Not bad, right? Trae is already 8th all-time in NBA playoff history with 30.10 assist games. That means in the playoffs, not just the regular season, but in the playoffs, he is 8th all-time, playing 27 playoff games, 3 out of 6 seasons. He's 8th. He's one of a handful of players who has a 30-15 game, 30 points, 15 assists. That list is very small. Go look it up. Trae Young averages 26.4 points a game in the playoffs. That's the same as Dominique Wilkins. But nobody hates Dominique Wilkins, though. Nobody. His first time in the playoffs, Trae gave us, well, he gave us, I should say, he gave the Knicks 32 points, 10 assists, 30.7 assists, 21 points, 14 assists, 27 points, 9 assists, 36 points, 9 assists, and about. right? In that same stretch of games, Kevin had 8 points, 10 points, 10 points, 11 points, and 8 points. Hunter had 5 points, 18 points, 11 points, 5 points, and 15 points. Okay. Against Philly, 35 points, 10 assists, 21 points, 11 assists, 28 points, 8 assists, 25 points, 18 assists, 39 points, 7 assists, 34 points, 12 assists, 21 points, 10 assists. Now, in that particular series, Kevin had a decent first game, 15 points, great shooting. Second game, he had 20 points. Third game, 3 points. Fourth game, 10 points. Fifth game, 0 points. Game 6, 17. And then, of course, game 7, Kevin was created with 27 points. Hunter wasn't available. The Bucks series, Trae, 48 points and 11 assists, game 1. Game 2, not too great, 15 points, 9 assists. Game 3, 45 and 4. Wait a minute, my fault. 48 and 11, 15 and 9, game 2. 45 and 4, game 3, my fault. So he scored 45 points, had 4 assists in game 3. Missed games 4 and 5, of course, because of the injury, and then came back and had 19 and 9. Now, over that same stretch, Kevin had 13, 8, 11, 15 on 1 of 7 from 3. Game 5, he had 8 points, 3 of 12 from the floor. Game 6, he had 6 points. That was the Milwaukee series. But it's Trae's fault, though. You heard what I just read off from some of the other players that was participating in that series. Okay, but it's all Trae, all Trae's fault. Now, the Miami series, of course, we got to blame Trae on the Miami series, right? Now, we know Bogey was hurt. John was hurt. Gallo was not full strength. Okay? We know that. It happened. Right? But still, Hawks had 4 players score double digits. Hunter had 14. Gallo had 17. Collins had 10. Kevin Knox had 10 in the game. Right? Trae had 8 points on 1 of 12 shooting that first game. That's what everybody else did. Trae had a horrible first game. Second game, though, game 2 against Miami, he had 25 and 7. They were still all over him, but he was scoring. Kevin had 9 points. Gallo had 2 points. John had 13 points. Bogey had a good game, 29 points. Hunter had 16. Clint didn't play. That was game 2. Game 3, Trae had 24 and 8. Hunter had 17. Kevin had 13, Gallo 11, John 6, Bogey had 18. Hawks won that game. Okay. Game 4 of that Miami series, Trae had 11 and 6, had 8 boards. Hunter had his best game as a pro, basically 35 points, 11 boards, 3 steals. But Kevin had 12, John had 7, Clint had 2, Gallo had 12. We lose that game by 3 points. Okay. And of course, actually, that was it. That's all I want to talk about as far as that Miami series. The Boston series. Now, the Boston series from last year, I want to talk about that because that's the only other series that the Hawks have played in the playoffs 3 out of 6 years. So, again, the premise of this show today is the reason that the Hawks lose is because of Trae and his defense, and that's it. Nobody else is responsible for defense. Nobody else is responsible for playing their man. Nobody is responsible for playing a guy on the switch, or you just got to allow yourself to be picked, which you don't have to do, but I'll get into that on the video part. And the reason that Hunter can't stay healthy is because of Trae Young. The reason that Hunter gets hurt is because of Trae Young. If you go watch the beginning of the show, for those who came in late, I read off all of Hunter's injuries and asked you the question on every one of them, is that Trae's fault? Ankles, abdomen, finger, being sick, rest, ankle, knees, all of those happened because of Trae. Because I was told Hunter can't play defense because of Trae Young. That's what I was told. So that's why I'm doing this show today. Okay. So the Boston series, game 1, Trae had 16 and 8. Game 2, he had 24 and 6. Game 3, he had 32 and 9. Game 4, he had 35 and 15. Game 5, he had 38 and 13. Game 6, he had 30 and 10. And in all those games, he averaged 2 steals a game, 4 out of those 6 games. That was the Boston series. Now, game 1, to go along with what Trae was doing, DJ had 24, so he was helping out. Hunter had 11. Collins had 12. Clint had 12. Bogey had 9. We lost that game 112-99. Okay. Game 2, DJ had 29, so he's helping out again. Hunter, better game, 18. But John had 5, Clint had 4. Bogey had 18. Lose that game 119-106. Okay. Game 3, DJ had 25. So DJ's doing his part in that series so far, for sure, right? Hunter, 11. Clint, 10. John, 8. Bogey, 15. Bay had 15. JJ had 10. We win this game 130-122. Remember what I said Trae had in game 3 earlier, okay? And I'll repeat it. He had 32 and 9, all right? So just going through this now, right? Game 4, DJ had 23. Hunter had his best game with 27. Clint had 10. John had 5. Bay had 5. Bogey had 8. We lost that game 129-121. Okay. Game 5, DJ was suspended, so he was not playing. He was not available. Okay. And as I mentioned before, game 5, Trae had 38 and 13 in game 5. Okay. Hunter had 13. Bogey had 18. John had 22. Clint had 4. Bay had 12. Trae has a game-winning shot. 119-117. Hawks win that game. Game 6, DJ had 14. Hunter had 20. John had 16. Clint had 10. Bogey 12. We lose that game 129-120. Now look at those scores. If you remember the scores, and just go back and watch it later. One of the things that I contest about this whole defense thing is, if Hunter is supposed to be our best wing defender, he's supposed to be a 3-and-D player. We need him to be our best wing defender. And in 5 years, he hasn't shown that. Some people say it's the motor. Okay. Some people say it's the injuries. But when he's not injured, we need him to be as good as possible. And he's not, even when he's not injured. Because again, when have you ever heard, oh, Hunter locked him up a whole bunch of times, not just once or twice, but a whole season of locking up? Because if you did, he'd be first or second team all defense. Heck, he might even get a couple of votes for defensive player of the year, maybe, like Marcus Smart, right? Which we're about to see in some video in a second, all right? But constantly, and I just mentioned it earlier, how many points I'll see if I can go back and not lose my place. The Atlanta Hawks gave up 2,544 points this year from shooting guards, and small forwards averaged 27.6 points a game. Trae doesn't guard the shooting guard on the other team, and he definitely doesn't guard the small forward on the other team. And just to repeat, power forwards scored 2,024 points on us, and centers scored 1,334 points. So from everybody's contention that keep telling me stuff, Trae Young is supposed to stop the shooting guard, point guard, center, power forward, everybody on the other team. And nobody on the Hawks is supposed to do their job if Trae is on the floor. Right? That's what I'm supposed to believe. So let me show you something. Almost did a fire marshal bill right there. Let me show you something. So let's show some clips. So this first clip I'm gonna show, let's see if I can get this to work today. This is from, now I don't know which game is which. I didn't have time to go back and see which games I pulled these for. So I'm gonna just kind of go through these one by one. And I just want you to observe. I might play it more than once just so you can get a rundown of what's going on. Because unfortunately, this particular program don't let me pause within the videos. I guess I'll be doing too much then, right? So watch this first clip for me.
Game 2, they looked a lot more comfortable.
Well, the level of aggression was night and day between Boston and Atlanta in the opening minutes. Tatum takes advantage to the rim and his first bucket of the night.
Now, my first question is, how is that Trae's fault? Let's play it again.
Game 2, they looked a lot more comfortable.
Well, the level of aggression was night and day between Boston and Atlanta in the opening minutes. Tatum takes advantage to the rim and his first bucket of the night.
So how is that Trae's fault? And as a basketball player, for those who play, are you cool with that defensive effort? Well, it's Jason Tatum and everything. Yeah, but at some point, you got to elevate and got to do the job. You can't let that happen. Worst case, foul him. Don't let him. He started from. Let me play it again.
Game 2, they looked a lot more comfortable.
Well, the level of aggression was night and day between Boston and Atlanta in the opening minutes.
Started from the 3-point line, 2 dribbles, and he got a layup. Can't let that happen. Here's the next one.
Tatum gets to the loose ball. Celtics down 5, 3.5 to go in the third. Tatum keeps the dribble, step back 3. Off target.
Now he missed that shot, but my question is, well, let me play it one more time so I can explain to you what I want to talk about on this one.
Game 2, they looked a lot more comfortable.
Well, that's the wrong one.
Tatum gets to the loose ball. Celtics down 5, 3.5 to go in the third. Tatum keeps the dribble, step back 3. Off target.
First of all, is that Trae's fault? And why doesn't Hunter pick up Tatum? When you're the best defender on the team, you got to go pick up the best scorer on the other team. You can't let them walk it up and do whatever. I'm just talking flat basketball, okay? You can't let that happen. And for those who don't know, I do a video series on Facebook called Sunday Night Basketball. When I go out and play basketball, I've been playing for 40 plus years now. And I talk about what happened that game, how many games played, all that kind of good stuff. And then I attribute some of the fundamentals of what happened that night in wins and losses. And I attribute some of those to the Hawks. Okay. So one day I'll try to start doing that on here as well. Here's the next play.
Mark, and it's rebounded by Smart. Midway through the fourth, Boston ball down 5. Tatum on the attack. Blocked by Okongwu. Tatum got it back and scores underneath.
Now, on that one, again, first of all, now is any of that happened Trae's fault, but you saw Okongwu play some good defense on him. Okay. But again, I need my best man on him, though. Okay. Here's another one. Before I play this is one where we can say for sure, if anything, Trae made a mistake by not doing something, and you'll see it in the video. But at the same time, it could have been prevented in the first place. And one of the things I always talk about playing basketball is you don't have to be picked. If you see a screen coming, you don't have to accept it. You can either hedge it, you can either back off and just let them hope that they were going to set a pick, but they can't if you don't let yourself be picked. And or you get around it. Okay. The other thing that could have happened was somebody could have moved over, but that's a whole nother story. But watch this one though.
The Hawks are 36 to 10 in points in the paint. Who would have thought? 36 to 10. Now it's 12.
So that's one bucket that we could say could be attributed to Trae for sure. But at the same time, like I just said, and you saw it, Hunter didn't need to be screened by Marcus Smart. He's bigger than Marcus Smart. Move Marcus out the way and or come from behind so that way you don't let Tatum go all the way to the basket. Also, though, Clint had to have seen that. He needed to dive a little bit quicker. He saw the screen being set. He saw the pick, right? But it's Trae's fault. We'll chop that one up for Trae in this one, okay? Here's the next one.
Did not look like it was deflected by Hunter. Here's Tatum rising and hitting another 3. 15 threes in the first half.
Basketball players, are y'all cool with what you just saw? Let me play it again.
Did not look like it was deflected by Hunter. Here's Tatum rising and hitting another 3. 15 threes in the first half.
Are you cool with that? I'll play it one more time.
Did not look like it was deflected by Hunter. Here's Tatum rising and hitting another 3. 15 threes in the first half.
So you saw Horford get in place to set a screen. Tatum technically didn't even take it. He just dribbled once. Hunter slams himself into Hunter, and then he's clapping his hands for the referee. Instead of coming back up and staying with his man, and he just let a wide open three just get shot. And he hit it, of course. See, me, I'm not cool with that kind of effort. If we were playing Sunday night, somebody else had down, that person wouldn't be picked up. I'm just saying. If it was me, if I'm not putting in effort, I'm the big man, I'm the center. I got to stop the center on the other team from scoring in the post. I got to get all the boards. I got to block the shots. That's my job. And if I don't do that, I ain't getting picked up. I'm old man Chris now. I can't, just guarantee that people are going to pick me up every night. Oh, I'm glad I put that on vibrate. So effort goes a long way. But two things happen with defense: effort and knowledge. You got to know what you're doing out there. There's techniques out there. There's things that you're supposed to know how to do. And if you don't know how to do them, you need to be taught how to do them. Train. But there's a lot of stuff that, for whatever reason, the Hawks don't know how to do. We can't even play zone defense still. Y'all see me on Twitter talk about that all the time. We can't even play zone, much less stop over-helping. How are we watching tape and we keep over-helping and we still do it game by game? And the league knows we do it. Okay? Here's another play.
Atlanta 0 for 2. Meanwhile, for 3. So Young goes to the basket, missed the layup. Young made his first shot, missed his last two, and here comes Tatum. He'll pull up for 3.
Tatum walked the ball up and shot a 3. How is that acceptable? And was that Trae's fault? Trae just missed a shot. People miss shots all the time. You miss a shot, you get back. I don't even know if you want to count that as a fast break, but dang, might as well, right? They probably didn't count that one as a fast break. But was that cool? I don't think it was. Here's another highlight.
Big thing right now is, can you prevent Boston from shooting a high percentage in threes?
Tatum.
Let me play that one more time.
Big thing right now is, can you prevent Boston from shooting a high percentage in threes?
Tatum.
I almost threw my TV out the window on that one. Want to know why? First of all, I didn't know where his man was. Second of all, he picked himself. He literally grabbed Marcus Smart. Marcus was just there. He's just kind of wandering around himself. And Tatum gets another shot. Want me to play it again? And by the way, is that Trae's fault?
Big thing right now is, can you prevent Boston from shooting a high percentage in threes?
Tatum.
Trae is the only one who is responsible for defense on the team. We lose games because of Trae's defense alone. Nobody else is responsible for defense. Nobody else is responsible for playing their man. Nobody is responsible for picking up a man if it's on a switch and still playing defense. I always talk about on my Sunday night basketball videos, I keep bringing this up, is that if I do get picked on somebody, if I can't maneuver or whatever, fight through the screen, and all of a sudden I'm on John Morant all of a sudden, guess what I got to do? I got to run around with that dude and make sure he don't get the ball. It happened just yesterday. I had got switched on basically Al Horford. Dude was huge. I had to play him until I got switched back on somebody else. Okay? There's such thing as a mismatch, but until you can switch back, you got to play that dude. You got to stop him. I was playing a dude Sunday who was basically like the Matrix, or basically like Jalen Johnson without the jump shot. And the game before, I got to the gym late that day, so they already started the first game. I usually get there early enough to play game one. But this time I didn't. They were already playing. And this one young dude, 20 years younger than me, they were throwing the ball down low. He was posting up. He was scoring in the basket. He hit a couple of open jumpers, even though he can't shoot. He hit a couple of open ones. We played by 2s and 1s. So he had like 7, 8 points in that first game, and they won the game just because of him. So when my team got up and we're looking to see who's on all the teams and stuff, we're trying to figure out who's going to guard who. But sometimes you have a chance to do that, and sometimes you just guard whoever guarded you initially, right? Playing street ball, right? But I said, I'm going to stick him because I'm not going to let him be the reason we lose this game because that's my job. You see what I'm saying? I take what I do pretty seriously. I'm not out there just to be running up and down the court, getting exercise. I'm out there to win some games. Okay? I'm 4-2 in the last 2 weeks, by the way, just to let you know. Game-winning shot Sunday night, by the way, too, in the last game. But anyway, he scored 1 point on me. He went from 8 points to 1 point. And he was running around. He was trying to get me tired or whatever. I stayed with him. He didn't get the ball. I denied him the ball. He tried to post up a couple of times on me. I either pushed him out, and they were like, no, I can't even do that. Right? Or if they did give him the ball, you're going to have, look, I got to back up to give y'all this. You got to get over this. You got to get over wingspan. You ain't about to do that on me. He scored 1 point on me, and technically it was because of a switch. You got to take that junk personal to play defense. You got to want to play defense, first of all. I don't care if I was playing Trae Young, I got to stick Trae Young. The other part of that is, do you have help? One of the things was I was doing when he was at the Jalen Johnson guy was at the top of the key. It was I was giving him space so that way he couldn't just blow by me because I don't got the foot speed no more. I'm old, okay? I can get a little bit, but I'm old. But what happened was, hey, Chris, I got your back. So if he did get by me, I got somebody who can pick up. That's the job. You got to want to do that. You can't just say, oh, well, Chris ain't that great at defense on the perimeter no more. We just going to let this guy blow by and get a dunk, which he can dunk too. I told him when I came, but right before we started playing, I was like, don't dunk on me now. I'm old. He just laughed or whatever. But I wasn't going to let him dunk on me. He was going to be in the ground. In the ground, right? I said some mean screens though. But you got to take some pride about that because you're trying to win the game. If there was no such thing as a score, it wouldn't matter. But since there's a score, your job when you get on the floor for whatever minutes you get is to do your job on both sides of the court. So if on one side of the court, your job is to stop people, you got to stop people. Not be like, oh man, Marcus Smart is kind of holding me back from getting to Jason Tatum. So let me see. I don't know if I can get a, hey ref, this guy. No, want me to play it one more time? Let me see if I can play it again. Did I miss my spot? Let's see.
This did not look like it was deflected by Hunter. Here's Tatum rising. And
my fault. That's not it.
Big thing right now is can you prevent Boston from shooting a high percentage in threes?
Tatum.
You can't do that. Sorry, you just can't do stuff like that. And then talk about how you're trying to win the game. Okay.
14 threes a game, 14 out of only 33 attempts. So you have to get out on the three ball.
Tatum splashes through a three-pointer.
Taking over just before the start of the season after Ime Udoka was suspended for violating team policy. Brown hops right around Hunter and lays it in.
What's the word on that one? Ole? Right? Is that acceptable? And also, let me play it again.
Over just before the start of the season after Ime Udoka was suspended for violating team policy. Brown hops right around Hunter and lays it in.
How's that Trae's fault? Again, remember, all these shots that are going in by the opposite team are all Trae's fault. Remember that, because that's what I was told. I was told that all of our losses are because of Trae Young and his defense. Nobody else's. Nobody else is responsible for defense. Nobody has to play their man, no matter what. You just do whatever. Here's another one. This is an interesting one. I think this is it. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
He's been a pest on the offensive glass, although Boston has dominated the boards overall in this first half. Oh, what a look. And Brown, the two-hand flush on the delivery from Smart.
Brown was Hunter's guy on that particular possession. What was Hunter doing? He was ball watching instead of staying with your man. And one of the things I always talk about, especially on the over helps, is you don't know where your man is half the time. This is a problem for all the Hawks primarily, but it shouldn't be for the wing defender. And one of the things I always talk about when I play defense, I don't care what's going on behind me. I'm stopping you, sir. So if you go left, I'm going left. If you go right, I'm going right. If you go forward, I'm holding you up so you can't go where you want to go. I'm stopping you. That's it. Especially if it's a perimeter player, I have to run around with him. If it's a post player, it's a little bit different because I'm in the post, obviously. But then again, like I said, I got to come out and help sometimes. I got to trust that somebody's going to rotate for my man. And guess what? Even if that happens, if there's time and the other team doesn't take advantage of the switch, you can switch back. There's no rule to say, okay, well, if we did try to do this pick on Trae, Trae's going to have to stop Joel Embiid. No, Clint, get back on your man. Trae Young ain't going to jump up from his 6 foot to Joel's height. That's not literal. That's stupid to think that. That's stupid. When I see a mismatch that's been formed, I'm coming to help. I'm the double guy because you got to get over both of these now, or I'm going to kick you in the face. One or the other is going to happen, right? But you just can't let stuff happen just cause. That's not an excuse. That's not a good excuse for anything, but definitely not in the NBA or basketball in general. So again, that was a backdoor cut that did not need to happen. Was that Trae's fault? Let's blame Trae anyway. Last two for this Boston series.
Sure, they got in their areas, but they couldn't shoot a percentage. But they're making them tonight.
They're definitely not settling. Meanwhile, Boston firing at will from deep. Brogdon drilling the three, the fifth already for the Celtics.
Did you like that, Kirk Cousins? Got to throw a little Kirk Cousins in here. Did you like that, though? You want me to play it again? I'll play it again.
Sure, they got in their areas, but they couldn't shoot a percentage. But they're making them tonight.
They're definitely not settling. Meanwhile, Boston firing at will from deep. Brogdon drilling the three, the fifth already for the Celtics.
You know who did settle? Hunter. He didn't try to fight through that screen. He let himself be screened. Now we can say, well, somebody else didn't come up. But my God, there shouldn't have been a need for that because that wasn't even really a pick or a screen. That was just a body in the way. And Hunter's just letting himself be dragged off. And meanwhile, Brogdon is going to shoot straight away three. None but net, right? Last shot of the Boston series I'm going to talk about.
Well, you remember the lack of sharpness down the stretch for Boston in Game 5. Different story so far here. Horford again. Miss it and a stick back. Tatum. Devastating.
Every time the ball goes up, you need to know where your man is. Second chance points is a problem for us as a team. Every loss last year, I always went back and said, well, let's look at the points in the paint, second chance points, fast break points, and three-point percentage given up. There's always 2 or 3 or 4 of those things that really made us lose that game. There's no excuse to not know where your man is. When that ball goes up, boom. Let's say that was Tatum right there. Boom. I ain't letting you get this ball. And if that ball comes, and let's say if it was my team and somebody shot, I'm blocking out because if that ball comes off the rim, guess what? I got it. I'm going right back up because I can finish. I'm pretty good at it too, okay? But if it's the opposite team, I got the rebound, and now I'm looking for my point guard. You ain't getting this ball. Man, you better get off of me. You're going to get an elbow, your point guard, and then we're going up the floor. It's not – let me play one more time.
Well, you remember the lack of sharpness down the stretch for Boston in Game 5. Different story so far here. Horford again. Miss it and a stick back. Tatum. Devastating.
Clint was down there too, and he's the center. And he let that happen. But let's blame Trae exclusively. No matter what, every loss that we have is because of Trae alone and his defense. No matter what he is doing. No matter that he's responsible on the offensive side for 40, 50 points a game for us, Trae ain't there to play Gary Payton defense. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen with Trae. Trae's gotten better at defense every year since he's been in the league. He's one of the league leaders on the team in charges taken. He's always up there in steals. He's getting better. There's going to be some gaps, though, for sure, because he's thinking ahead. He's trying to, do whatever. But Trae ain't the one giving up 30, 40, 50, 60 points. And if you follow me on Twitter, Intellect ATL, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. No, I'm not going to do that. Intellect ATL, some of you follow me there. I posted up every bucket that Luka got in January, that 73-point game. I posted video of every shot, every quarter of that 73 points that he put up and showed everybody this can't be on Trae, but Trae wasn't guarding him most of the Trae had him maybe 3-4 times in the whole game. Maybe that. Luka is walking up the court getting layups. Luka walking up the court into a three. No doubles. Nobody can stop him, though. Nobody can stop him. Slow him down. Nothing. Nobody said, okay, I'm going to stop Luka. I'm going to stop him. It's going to be me. I'm going to stop him. Whatever we got to do, we got to stop him. Okay, I'm going to just mysteriously double team him out of nowhere. Trap him get the ball out of his hand. No, none of that happened. I showed every doggone play. Go watch that. It's probably still on there. And one day I probably will do it on here. Okay, but not just now. So again, premise. Trae Young is the reason that nobody can play defense on the Hawks. Is that what y'all just saw? Hunter is hurt. Hunter is always injured because of Trae Young. Did y'all see that in just those clips for the Boston series from last year? I don't think so. So what I've done is I've gone even deeper. If I can find where I'm at, let's see. Oh, I almost forgot about this part. So if the Hawks are so much better without Trae, because that's the other contention, they're better without Trae Young. If the Hawks are better without Trae Young, why have they lost 33 games when he doesn't play? Total, all time. The Hawks are 27-33 when Trae Young does not touch the floor. 27-33. They're not 50-10. They're not 45-15. They're not even 33-27. They're 27-33 all time with Trae Young don't play at 60 games. In 6 years, he's missed that many. He's not really missed a lot of games. He's missed some. Not as much as Hunter, obviously. Right? They were 14-14 this season. It's the most games he's missed, I think, off the top of my head. I didn't actually count that, so don't quote me on that. That's 28 games total that he's missed, okay? They were 14-14, not 20-8, not 18-10, 14-14. So are they really better without Trae? Now, before I go into this, remember, it wasn't just Trae that was out this year. There was periods of time where Trae, Bey, Okongwu, and JJ were out all at the same time. So are we better without 4 players, 3 of them starters, 1 coming off the bench primarily? Are we really better like that? Or is it other stuff? But let's just take the cake and say it's just Trae, right? So this is what I did. And this is before and after I do this, what I'm about to do, I'm actually going to go into the play-in game. So try to bear with me. But I want to just show y'all, here's what happened while Trae was gone, primarily. I don't know if I can do all the games. We'll see. So March 23rd, here's a stretch of games where the Hawks, near the end of the year, wasn't quite the end of the year, but they went 6 of 7 wins. Okay, they won 6 out of 7. All right. So March 23rd, they beat Charlotte 132-91. Now you know how bad Charlotte was, right? Now in this particular game, Trae, JJ, Double O, and Bey were all out. Okay, they were playing Charlotte though, but still, DJ had 28, Vitt had 9, Hunter had 11, Garrison 20, Bruno 25. Obviously, they got big minutes because it was a blowout, right? So not bad. That's good. That's cool. They should have won that game, right? March 25th, they beat Boston. Now, this was a big game. 120 to 118. Y'all remember that. Now, again, Trae, JJ, O, and Bay were all out. So are we saying that the team won by 2 points because of Trae not being there? And JJ and O and Bay? I mean, like, let's be real. Okay? You don't think we would have won that game a little bit easier if we had those 4 players and their regular production in there? I think so, but that's just me. That's just me. Now, in that particular game, Hunter had a good game. He had 24 points. Vitt had 16 out of nowhere. DJ had 19. Bogey had 22. Clint had 14 and 12. Now, here's my question, though. Trae ain't playing. So why does Tatum have 37 points? Why does Brown have 24? Why does Peyton Pritchard have 15? Trae ain't playing. Trae is the reason we lose all of our games because of his defense. Tatum has 37. Brown has 24. Who's guarding those guys? That's my question. Y'all can answer it however you need to. March 27th, they beat the Portland Trail Blazers 120 to 106. Now, I do need to say this. Here's the starting lineup for that particular game for the Portland Trail Blazers. Rayan Rupert, Scoot Henderson, Toumani Camara, Duke Reith, Chris Murray. Those are real names. Hawks again were missing Trae, JJ, O, and Bay. Bogey had 16. DJ had 30. Vitt had 7. Hunter had 13 on 5 of 12 shooting. Clint had 13 and 10. This is a game that Garrison had 21 points. I think it's the second time he had 20 all season long. March 28th, the Hawks beat Boston again, 123 to 122. Again, Trae, JJ, O, and Bay were missing. Now, this is the game that DJ shot like 44 times or something like that, right? He had 44 points. Hunter had 21. Vitt had 2. Clint had 12. So they won that game by 1 point. West had 3. Bruno had 6. Garrison had 7. Trent Forrest had 4 points. So they won that game by 1 point. We were missing Trae, JJ, O, and Bay. Are they really better? Or is Boston just, playing like crap again? But guess what? Boston didn't really play like crap. Tatum had 31. White had 22. He shot 72% from the floor that night. He was 83% from 3. Who was stopping White? Trae wasn't there. Why wasn't he getting stopped? Brown had 18. Porzingis had 20. One of the things I always talk about is when your player does something, you need to even it out with your production. That's why when I play, I look and see who's on my team, and I make an immediate decision. I might need to shoot a little bit more than I usually do, or I'm completely playing in the post, and I might not shoot at all, but I'm going to get 7 assists because you're going to play through me because I know how to pass. I'm really good at it, okay? If you cut, you got a layup or you got a wide open 3, either or. Matters not. And then if I got to take advantage of something, got a baby hook, got a turnaround jumper, I can hit a 15-footer, I can hit a 3. I can hit all the shots. I just don't shoot a lot because I'm not selfish. I want to win. If I got shooters on my team, I don't need to shoot. I ain't trying to do all that. But anyway, how come these guys ain't being stopped? We barely won that game. By the way, a reminder again, the Hawks lost 21 games this season by 7 points or less this year. A lot of games we lost by 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. Okay, just a reminder. All right. March 30th, the Hawks lose to the Bucks 122 to 113. Hawks again were missing Trae, JJ, O, and Bay. Bogey had 38 points in that game. Hunter had 13, DJ had 20, Vitt had 8, Clint had 10 and 8. Nobody else had more than 10. Giannis had 36, Chris Middleton 21, Pat Bev had 18. How did he get 18 in that game? Who's sticking him? Who's sticking Giannis? He had 36. Trae wasn't there. So you can't blame him, but you want to blame him. He ain't even on the floor. Why are these guys still scoring? If that is the reason that the Hawks lose all the games, is my point. April 1st, the Hawks beat the Bulls 113 to 101. Trae, O, Bay are out. Okay. JJ is back, though. So Bogey had 20, DJ had 18, Hunter had 8, Vitt had 18, JJ, like I said, is back. He had 11. Clint had 15 and 11. DeRozan had 31. White had 22. Drummond had 13 and 18 that game. Still beat them, but certain people weren't getting stopped in that game, though. Trae ain't there. Why not? April 3rd, Hawks beat Detroit 121-113. Trae, O, and Bay are out again. JJ is back. He had 28, feeling good. Hunter had a good game, had 26. DJ had a good game, 24. Clint had 11 and 16, not bad at all. Bogey had 10. This was the game, however. Malachi freaking Flynn dropped 50 on us. Y'all remember that mess? Trae ain't out there. Can't blame Trae on that one at all. Sorry. You just can't do it. You can if you want to, but ain't nowhere in the world. We almost lost that game. Think about that. He dropped 50, shot 72% from the floor, 55% from 3. Trae Young ain't on the floor. So how do you attribute that one? I ain't done yet. So those are the games. That was winning 6 or 7. Okay. But that's not all the games that Trae missed. Here are some others that Trae missed. Okay. March 21st, the Hawks lost to the Suns 128-115. Trae, JJ, Bay are out. DJ had 29, Vitt had 9, Bogey had 16, Hunter had 22 on 5 of 13. Booker had 30 points that night, 6 of 8 from 3. Eric Gordon had 21 points, 8 of 11 from the floor, 4 of 6 from 3. Who was playing defense on those two dudes? We lost 128-115. We gave up 128 points. Why aren't we playing better defense? Hunter was out there. DJ was out there. March 18th, we lost to the Lakers 136-105. Trae and Bay are out this particular game. DJ had 13, JJ had 25, Bogey had 17, Vitt had 11, Clint had 10, Hunter had 8 points and a board, 4 of 14 from the floor. O had 11. Anthony Davis had 22 and 15 that night. D'Lo had 27 freaking points that night. Bron, of course, had 25. Why aren't those guys being slowed down and stopped? Trae ain't on the floor. Trae's the reason we lose all of our games because of his defense. Trae ain't playing. In all these games, we got guys still dropping buckets on us all the time. Why is that? I need someone to explain it. That's all I'm asking. Explain it. March 15th, Hawks lose to Utah 124-122, 2-point loss. DJ had 33, JJ had 26, Vitt had 2, Hunter had a good game, 27, Clint had 10 and 15. He had 7 offensive rebounds. He had 10 points, though. If you don't know, I don't think it's cool that he gets all them offensive rebounds and don't put them all back up. Clint should be averaging 19 points a game. You average 5-6 offensive rebounds a night? Just saying. Keontae had 25 for the Utah Jazz. Sexton had 21. John, 18 and 11. Johnny Juzang, off the bench, had 19 points. He was 7 of 11 from the floor, 5 of 8 from 3. Who's guarding that guy? Because that's the guy that beat you right there. 19 points off the bench, 7 from 11 from the floor, 5 of 8 from 3. Who was sticking him? Wasn't Trae, because Trae wasn't out there. March 13th, Hawks lose to the Portland Trail Blazers. I was really mad at this game. You follow me on Twitter, Intellect ATL. You know why, okay? So, Trae, JJ, O, and Bay don't play this game. DJ had 40. Bogey had 8. Vitt had 7. Clint had 13 and 14 boards. 7 offensive rebounds again. Okay. Hunter had 11. Simons had 36. DeAndre Ayton had 33. He was 15 for 20 from the floor. Why? March 10th, Hawks lose to the Pelicans 116-103. I'm just noticing I didn't have the score on that Portland game, but they lost. You know it. Trae, O, JJ didn't play that game. DJ had 23. Bogey had 25. Bay had 14. Clint had one of his best games of the season in this particular game. He had 18 points, 14 boards. Vitt had 3. Hunter had 12. We lost that game 116 to 103. March 2nd, the Hawks lose to the Nets, 114 to 102. Trae O didn't play. Bogey had 13, Bay had 23, DJ had 20, JJ had 7, Clint 11 and 10, Hunter had 15. Bridges had 38 points in that game. Who was stopping him? Cam Johnson had 23. Who was stopping him? We lost that game 114 to 102. Trae wasn't out there. So why does Bridges have 38? If Trae is the reason that we lose all the games because of his defense, even though he doesn't play none of those positions. February 29th, Hawks lose to the Nets again. Well, I'm going backwards, by the way. Hawks lose to the Nets, 124 to 97. Trae and Big O don't play again. JJ had 14, Bogey had 11, DJ had 28, Bay had 7, Clint had 7, Hunter had 12. Kobe played, he had 12. This night, Bridges had 15, but Cam had 29. Dennis Schroeder had 23. Day'Ron Sharpe had 12 points, shooting 71% from the floor. January 24th, the Hawks lose to the Warriors, 134 to 112. Trae isn't playing. Everybody else is pretty much. JJ had 21. DJ had 23. Bogey had 17. Bay had 18. Clint had 11. Patty had 13 points, one of the few times he played this year. Curry had 25. Clay had 24. Kuminga had 25 points, didn't miss a shot. He went 11 for 11 that night. Who was stopping Kuminga? Everybody's playing. Where is the defense? We gave up 134 points that game. By the way, the Hawks gave up 120 points a game this season. They scored 118 points this season. So we either need to stop some people a little bit more or we need to score more points, which is why I always go back to the fact that with Clint and his inability to finish inside from 0 to 5 feet, I did a show about that before, without him being able to hit a 10-foot jump shot, a 15-foot jump shot, a 17-foot jump shot, or a three-point shot, or a free throw, he is a liability on the offensive side because nobody has to worry about Clint. That's a problem when everybody knows it. That means you could always bunch up on somebody else. Because Clint ain't gonna do nothing. Clint's gonna be in the paint. He's gonna try to pass it back out. Dang, Clint go right back up. No, I'm passing it back out. Somebody who can actually do something because I don't have no touch under the rim. I don't know how to use the backboard like Dominique Wilkins always talk about. I don't know how to do that. I've been in the league 11 years and can't do it still. That's what Clint be saying. So that's what he be doing. It's terrible. January 22nd, the Hawks lose to the Kings, 122 to 107. Trae and Hunter are out this particular game. DJ has 35, JJ has 11, Bogey 18, Bay 13, Clint 11. O had 8 points, 9 boards. Harrison Barnes had 32 points in that game. Harrison Barnes, killing us. Sabonis had 14 points and 21 rebounds, killing us. Trae ain't out there, though. December 8th, we lost to Philly, 125 to 114. Trae is the only one who doesn't play this game. Bogey had 20, Bay had 16, Hunter had a good game, 24, DJ had 20, Clint had 15 and 16, 10 offensive rebounds. 10 offensive rebounds. He did have 15 points, so I guess, 10 offensive rebounds, or he only has 15, I'm just saying. O had 7 points and 8 boards, but Maxey had 30 and Joel had 38. So who's stopping Maxey and who's stopping Joel? Who's stopping Maxey from dropping 30 and who's stopping Joel? Because Trae ain't out there to do it. If all the games are lost because of Trae and his defense, explain what's going on in all these games that he's missed this year that I've been quoting y'all so far. We should have won all those games, right? Why didn't we go 14 and 14 instead of, again, have 18, 19 wins? Why weren't we at 500 by the time Trae came back. We were so much better. Why are we 27-33 in all games missed by Trae Young if the team is so much better without Trae Young? Someone answer if you want to. Bulls versus Hawks, a play-in game. So here's my last thing I'm gonna talk about. Here's where the video comes in, because I actually pulled every shot that the Bulls made in this game. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Now there is one that for some reason NBA.com doesn't have. I don't know why. I'll just talk about it when I get there. It's in the fourth quarter. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna switch things up a little bit here. Let me see if I can find it. So what I'm gonna do, and what I'm going to be doing in this particular series in regards to the season, 2023 season, I'm going to go game by game, okay? And I'm basically going to do what I'm about to show y'all, okay? To show you actually what happened in the game. Because one thing about the Matrix and reality and things of that nature, a lot of people think we live in the Matrix again, and we don't. Stuff actually happened in real life. And I like showing stuff in real life. That's just me. Rather than just saying something out loud and hoping it's cool, I don't like that. I hate that, okay? For all the people who've ever watched Around the ATL, make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio YouTube page if you can. I like showing what actually happened. I like proving it, okay? Because that's better than just making up stuff. I hate that, okay? So for each game, I'm going to be going, like I mentioned earlier, the score, the difference of the score, points in the paint, second chance points, fast break points, 3-point percentage given up. Although now that I think about it, I might have missed that on this. Oh, no, I didn't. I included it. Good. I forgot it. I'm also going to go over who did what for the Hawks and the top 3 players of the opposite team, the top 3 scorers. What did they do? Okay. Why did we lose this game, basically, is what we're going for, okay? So, the play-in game, Chicago Bulls. The score was 131-116. We lost that game by 15 points, okay? Chicago Bulls had 72 points in the paint. That is bad. Now, if I remember where I put it, I think I put it at the end. Or maybe I didn't include it. Well, I'll do it off the top of my head. The Hawks gave up. I have to do it on another show because I don't want to get confused here. I thought I had it. I thought I typed it. I had the what the Hawks gave up on the defensive side for points in the paint, like everything. But for some reason, I thought I had saved it. Maybe I didn't. I'll do it on another show. But for this particular game, the Hawks gave up 72 points in the paint, 11 second chance points, which that's not terrible, but at the same time, it's 11 points, okay? Fast break points, 19. And again, one person can't be blamed on a fast break. That's all 5 players. All 5 players got to get back. It can't just be one player getting back. And then when they get a layup, you blame that player for not stopping them. Okay. Yeah, that player can foul him, but take the context of what time it is in the game. Are you really trying to foul someone who obviously got a fast break layup? Doesn't really happen. But if Trae gets back and don't foul, oh, it's Trae's fault that they scored that, right? But Trae's the only one who gets back. I'm just giving you context example, right? The whole team has to get back. I talk about it when I play on Sundays. I always try to get back. Even if I know I got 3-1 coming on me, I'm trying to be Wemby. I'm trying to deter you from thinking about taking this shot. But I can still block your shot. I might not be able to move that fast, but I can anticipate pretty good still. And all you got to do sometimes is disrupt, because you don't know if they're going to hit that shot. And if they don't, guess what? That gives your guys time to come back and help you out. So it's not just you defending 3 people. Right? There's only one ball, right? But fast break points, 19 points. That's the game right there. Bulls shot 42% from 3. The 3 high scorers for the Bulls that night was White with 42, 15 of 21 shooting. 71%, y'all. Vucevic, 24 points, 11 for 21. That's 52%. And DeRozan, 22. That's 10 for 19 from the floor. He shot 52%. For our team, Bogey had 21 on 8 of 18. Hunter had 8 points, 3 of 16 shooting, 2 rebounds. Clint was 11 for 15. That's his best game in a while for 22 points. DJ had 30. Trae had a bad game shooting, but he did get to the line, so he had 22 points, and he had 10 assists. Okay. Garrison had 8. Bruno had 5. That's about it there. So what I'm going to do now is actually show you game tape of the play-in game. So the first shot that the Bulls hit, now, by the way, I'm only showing the Bulls shots that went in, and that's it. I'm not showing anything else from that game because I'm only showing the fact that here's what actually happened in the game, and let's see how we can blame Trae if that's what y'all want to do. Okay, for some of y'all. Okay, for some of you. For some of you don't. What the world's going on? Some of you hate Trae Young. I know that. That's fine. But I just want to show people here's what actually happened. Why aren't we blaming other people other than just Trae Young? Because 5 people are on the floor against the other 5, not 1 against 5. Again, the Hawks gave up 2,500 points to the shooting guard this year. 27 points a game average to the small forward this year, the Hawks did. Trae don't play those positions on defense. Sorry. Y'all know this, okay? So, first shot of the game was by the Bulls center, Mr. Vucevic. I don't know how to pronounce his name that well, but I'm giving y'all the best pronunciation that I can. So here's his first shot.
And early, that is always a point of interest from people, the chemistry between those two. Vucevic, the finish on the delivery from DeRozan.
So he was at the top of the key. Caruso sets a brush screen, basically, on Hunter. Trae stays with Caruso. Vooch gives the ball to DeRozan, who cuts to the basket. And for some reason, as he always does, Clint gets out of position to double someone that don't need to be doubled. He does it every single time. And that's why I talk about this on Sunday Night Basketball. There's no reason for you to do that. None. But he does it, and he puts everybody else in a bad position because he puts people in mismatches now. Because now he's on somebody he shouldn't be on, and now somebody else has somebody who can't guard them, usually center and a small, right? Bogey comes in as if he was going to stop the ball, then steps back out, and then Clint has to try to step up, and then that leaves Vooch with the layup. So want me to show you one more time? I'll do it one more time real quick.
And early, that is always a point of interest from people, the chemistry between those two. Vucevic, the finish on the delivery from DeRozan.
That's just first shot, okay? Guess who had the second shot for the Bulls? Same person.
Chicago took the season series 2 out of 3 against the Hawks as Vucevic stops on a dime and flips it in.
Now, there's going to be a little bit of a common theme as I go through this. When I talk about certain people at the top of the key, remember, Vucevic had 24 points himself. He's just scored 4 points already. This one was easy. He's at the top of the key, and he just beats Clint off the dribble all the way for a layup. The Bulls had 72 points in the paint. So here's the third shot coming up. Now, our team had gotten back on defense, but White passes it to Ayo, and you'll see what happened in a second. So here we go, third shot for the Bulls.
Murray is also going to get some defensive responsibilities on DeMar DeRozan. Ooh, that should be a goaltend. Yeah. And it is goaltend called as Ayo Dosunmu.
Now, whether or not you agree that was a goaltend or not, I mean, it looked like goaltend to me. But again, our team had gotten back. The White passes the ball to Ayo, and Ayo just says boop, 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 and goes right past Bogey and lays it up. Now, again, what could have been done on that one a little bit better? I don't know too much, but that wasn't on Trae, was it? Anybody? Bueller, right? That's the third shot of the game. I should have spaced these out a little bit more. So that was the third shot. So here's the fourth shot for the Bulls. This is first quarter, by the way. Let's see if I can get the fourth shot up. By the way, this is going to be the center again.
DeRozan dumps it in. Vucevic finishes. Was able to separate from Bogdanovic.
Now, I want to play this one again for a particular reason, okay?
DeRozan dumps it in. Vucevic finishes. Was able to separate from Bogdanovic.
Why is Clint not on his man? Why is Clint way up there when he needs to be way down here? Bulls had 72 points in the paint. Okay. You remember earlier. All right. So that was the fourth shot. This first quarter still, okay? Now this next shot, the fifth shot for the Bulls, you're going to see DeRozan at the top of the key. Now, I'm going to go ahead and kind of break some of this down as I go through these a little bit better, so that way you're not having a mystery of what's going on. So this fifth shot, DeRozan is at the top of the key. Hunter is on him. Caruso pops out. Vooch sets a screen on Trae. Caruso then sets a screen on Hunter. Trae is going to pop out to DeRozan, as he's supposed to do, but Hunter doesn't guard Caruso. He's still looking at DeRozan for some reason. He's 10 feet away from Caruso. So DeRozan passes the ball to Caruso, wide open three. Because Hunter just stopped. I don't know what's going on. But I'm going to let y'all watch it for yourself now.
Then lost in Miami, a game where they had a sizable lead, but the Heat came back. And then, of course, eventually found themselves on a deep playoff run as Caruso nails the three.
Did you see where Hunter even stopped and kind of like, I don't know if I even really want to contest this shot, but I guess I need to contest it now. At a certain point, it's just basketball. I don't care if it's in the NBA and people are getting paid $20 million a year. Basketball is basketball. There are elements that are never going to change. Ever. Okay? You got to stay with your man. You got to fight through a screen. You see what I'm saying? You got to do these things over and over again. You got to really contest a shot. You can't just leave people walk. They shot 42% from three. I'm going to bring all these things up. That's why I'm going to go through these things with each game, is to show this is what actually happened each game. And here's why, actually, okay? Before you try to attribute it to something that it isn't. Because real life actually matters. What actually happened on the court is a big deal. So again, if you just chiming in, appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page, IMTN Worldwide Radio, for Around the ATL. Definitely make sure you go back to the beginning because I broke a lot of other stuff down. So sixth shot. So in this particular case, if I can find, there we go. Caruso's at the top of the key. By the way, again, it's terrible, but if you keep watching, you're going to notice that they kept running the same stuff, but we weren't going to stop. At a certain point, they just saw that on the defensive side of the ball, we don't have somebody on the bench, unfortunately, that can adjust for what's going on the floor. And that's why I've been talking about the last couple of years, is that we don't have a strong defensive mind on our bench to help adjust our guys, because it's not about, oh, well, he's been playing since he was in high school and he played in college. And he's been in the NBA for 5 years. They don't got nothing to do with nothing. If you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. Somebody got to fix it, just like we do on a Sunday night. If I got a guy who he's having trouble doing something in particular, I'm going to walk over to him, especially if we lost, and say, hey, next time you get the rebound, just hold on to it. Don't be trying to do a whole bunch because you're not used to being out here. Like if it's a young guy or something like that. Just wait for us to come and help you out. Because you're bigger than all these other guys. You can get the rebound, just get it and just hold it. You're too strong for them to be trying to tap it out and you throwing it out of bounds and all the other stuff. Don't do that. Help yourself by just taking a breath before you do anything. Okay? One Mississippi, however you want to count it out loud if you got to, and let us come and help you. Because if you're trying to do stuff before you even really got possession, we're going to have a turnover. And that's a lost possession that we can't get back. The next game, he started doing that. He had like 6 rebounds. Encouragement. but adjustments. You see what I'm saying? You got to be able to do that. Hey, Chris, we'll switch. Or I'll say, hey, let's switch because I can't handle him. I don't got no pride. I'm trying to win the game. If I don't got the foot speed or whatever it is to play a person, let me get this guy. I'll stop him a little bit better than I can stop him, but I'll come and play help defense if I got to. I've done that before. Sometimes I've actually switched people to make a mismatch, to make a person think they got a mismatch, but I'm coming to help every time. It's all strategy, y'all. You gotta be able to do this. But anyway, 6 shot. I think I'm at the 6 shot. So Caruso's at the top of the key. DeRozan fakes like he's making a move, but doesn't. Hunter, after that, is ball watching. You're going to see that. White has the ball. Trae is on White. Vooch comes out to set a screen on Trae. Hunter is still ball watching and actually slides into the paint as White starts to drive. And Clint, who is now on him, heard the screen set by Vooch. White simply passes it across the court to a wide open DeRozan. Hunter doesn't jump. You're going to see all that in the 6th shot for the Chicago Bulls in the first quarter of the play-in game from this year.
So the Bulls out of challenges for the remainder of this game. DeRozan's 3 is good.
Hunter back was on his man. You can't play defense like this. Whatever's going on over there don't matter. You need to be on your man. You definitely don't need to be 15 feet away. You're not affecting the play now. You need to be on your man because every time you do that, you open up 42% from 3. Why do y'all think our 3-point percentage is so bad? Because we're not paying attention. We're not doing our jobs as a team. We keep over-helping, and we don't adjust. That was 6 shots, first quarter so far. 7 shot, pretty easy. DeRozan's at the top of the key. Hunter's on him. DeRozan dribbles, and he shoots and scores. Not too hard on this one.
Chicago's starters play more minutes per game than any team in the NBA. DeRozan, oh yeah!
We'll go right to the 8 shot. White has the ball at the top of the key. Look for where Clint is at. Why is he trying to guard White? Garrison is on the other side of the court and has to come all the way across. Vooch comes to set a pick. Clint is now on White. White's going to pull up for a jumper, but watch it.
He was the head of the snake when Trae Young is out. There's been a lot of conversation about can Trae Young and DeJounte Murray play well together. We both know individually they're talented as you see Kobe White knock down that mid-range.
Let me play it again.
He was the head of the snake when Trae Young is out. There's been a lot of conversation about can Trae Young and DeJounte Murray play well together. We both know individually they're talented as you see Kobe White knock down that mid-range.
White hit a lot of mid-range in the paint. That's why there was 72 points in the paint. White was one of the reasons. And again, it's one of those deals where you don't have to let a screener pick you off. But if you do, you got to play that man. And as a center on a guard, guards shouldn't be laying the ball up like that. Should they? They don't do it on me, and I'm old as all get out. You either getting fouled or I'm blocking it, or I'm disrupting the shot. Like you got to, again, if you're trying to come up on me, you got to do some Kyrie Irving-ish on me, basically, to hit a layup like that on me. Because I ain't letting you do it. I can still block shots, people. I'm sorry, I can't. I do it every time. So that was number 8. So number 9, DeRozan's at the top of the key again. Hunter is on him. Vooch sets the screen. Clint is now on DeRozan. DeRozan pulls up for a jumper. That is shot number 9. Make sure I stay in order here. There we go.
Here's DeRozan, midi again.
And that's what I'm talking about. He hits 1-3.
Now, we can say, well, Chris, in that particular case, you kind of just got to give him that. No, you don't. Are we trying to win or not? This is where having someone who is possibly a little bit better at that particular part of the game when it comes to playing a screened shooter off the screen itself and being able to step up enough to not let a wide open jumper happen would come into play a lot on this team, wouldn't it? Just saying. Shot number 10. Let me make sure I differentiate this. Is this it right? Yep. So DeRozan is, again, at the top of the key. I told you this is going to be a theme. Hunter makes a good play to knock the ball out of DeRozan's hand for a moment. Look where Bogey is at. When Hunter knocks the ball away, see what Bogey does. But unfortunately, what you would like to have happen didn't, so which means other stuff is going to happen that's not good. All right. So this is shot number 10 for the Bulls.
Andre Drummond in for Chicago. He was a game-time decision, giving it a go. Dosunmu from 3.
So you saw what happened. He did try to go and get the ball, but because he wasn't on his man and nobody else rotated over, AO is wide open for a 3. And they shot pretty high percentage from 3, as I mentioned earlier, right? That was a 10th shot. Here is the 11th shot of that quarter. They had a lot of shots in the first quarter, by the way. So on this one, Trae did lose AO. And I say in my notes, maybe it was a fake screen or something like that. I can't remember. Or Trae was going to double, but he lost his man. So Trae on this one, definitely, let's blame Trae on this one for sure, right? But Bogey also has left Caruso wide open too. DeRozan drives and spins on Hunter. Bruno comes to help. DeRozan drops to Drummond, who puts it back in because I think he dropped it and then he puts it back in. But watch this one.
He said that, look, when the Bulls defend the three-point line well, that is a difference in so many of their wins, how well they defend the three-point line. And right now they're doing a great job. They're sharing the ball.
So we can blame Trae on that one if you want, I guess. But so far, how many times have you been able to actually say, okay, that was for sure Trae Young's fault that they scored those 2 points or 3 points? Because that's why I'm trying to count down for everybody. Because I like to actually go from what actually happened on the court rather than just saying, well, the Hawks lose all of their games because of Trae Young's defense, and Hunter keeps getting injured because of Trae Young. That's why I'm doing this particular show, all right? Because I was told that by somebody, all right? That was shot, what, number 11? I got to space these out, so give me a second. So shot number 12. Kumo G is on DeRozan on this particular play. Drummond comes to set a pick. Bruno has DeRozan, and he pulls up and hits a jumper. Pretty simple.
The Atlanta Hawks are 1 for 6 from 3. That is something that is going to be a big key to this game, especially if DeMar DeRozan continues cooking from that mid-range.
Guess we can blame Trae on that one too somehow. I don't know how, but that was just a simple play that, you know, DeRozan is the king of the mid-range. He's going to hit that shot, right? So if you don't double him and get the ball out of his hands, that was an easy shot for him, right? Right. 13th shot. Now, here's one you can blame Trae not on the defensive end, but something he did on offense. Bad pass. So there's a fast break. Trae and West get back, okay? Trae steps up on Caruso. Caruso actually misses the shot, but DeRozan is there and he puts it back up. Nobody blocks out DeRozan on this one.
Over 23,000 career points, and many of them due to that pull-up. Here's DeRozan leading. Caruso went flying in, and DeRozan on the follow.
Even if you're not a big, you can still block out. You can put body on a man. You can do something. To do nothing is giving up points in the paint. Again, the reason that the Hawks give up so many points in the paint is a lack of group blocking out, a lack of group rebound. Okay? It's not good. All right? So that was shot number 12. 13. No. That was shot 13. Shot 14. Yeah, let me do this real quick. Give me a second. I'm getting confused because I got all these written there. Oh, I'm almost done with the first quarter. So shot 14, DeRozan has the ball at first, okay? West picks him up. Nobody else has a man except Trae is on Caruso, okay? DeRozan passes to White. White walks up and hits a 3. So either Kumo G had him or Bogey had White on this possession. Bruno definitely had Drummond, but nobody rotated either. So on this one again, I guess we could say Trae could have come up all the way, but then Caruso would have had a wide open layup. Again, 5 people have to play defense, and 5 people, what are they always saying? Got to communicate, right? You gotta. One of the things I talk about on Sunday nights when I play ball is you gotta let me know when the screen is coming. But sometimes I'm blocked out. Okay. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm not paying attention like I want to. I need to know it's coming. Say something. So that way I know, okay, do I move my man out the way and fight through it? Can I get around it? What do I need to do? Is my man ready to rotate? Can we pick up our own guys? You see what I'm saying? Because that's another way to stay on somebody is instead of yourself letting yourself be picked off, just switch. You eliminate that from just switching. Now they can't do what they wanted to do. But we don't do any of that. We just, it's just terrible. So let's play shot 15.
Then you come and turn over the ball your 4th of the first quarter.
Terry on the attack. Can't finish. Drummond can.
Sorry, that was the wrong shot. This is shot 14.
It's a 9-0 Chicago run. Here's White. No one picks him up. He got it on a 3.
So I'm going to play it again because that's what I was saying before because I played the wrong shot. So you have a non-fast break, but nobody picks up White. And so that's why I was saying, nobody has a man on this one, really. Trae had Caruso down there, but nobody had White, and he just pulled up and hit a 3. They hit 42% on 3, and most of them were wide open just like that. I'll show shot 14 again.
It's a 9-0 Chicago run. Here's White. No one picks him up. He got it on a 3.
Shot 15. This is a layup. Okay. Trae has Caruso. Bogey wasn't playing anybody at the time. After West falls down, this is what I just played for y'all. Two shots down by mistake. West falls down. Okay. So you got 2 people open in the corner. DeRozan passes to Kelly, who passes up a wide open 3. He just drives it. Kumo jumps at him. Bruno then steps in to defend the shot. But at the end of the day, it's a layup. So I'll show y'all shot 15.
Then you come and turn over the ball your 4th of the first quarter.
Terry on the attack. Can't finish. Drummond can.
And so here's the last shot of the first quarter by the Bulls. Here's another bad pass by Trae. He had 6 in the game, but he didn't have any after the second half. But he did have some in the first. And remember, it's not an excuse, but he still wasn't completely. He passes with both hands. And so I know with that thing on his hand or whatever, he was still, whatever. Probably wasn't all there. But another bad pass by Trae. Trae and West get back again. West is on Caruso's side. Trae makes Caruso pass the ball. Terry gets a layup.
Young gives it up to Caruso. Caruso to Terry.
So again, the Bulls shot 72 or had 72 points in the paint. Okay, that was just the first quarter. Okay, so when I talk about the fact that if you're going to lay the whole reasoning of the Hawks losing games on just one person, by what you just saw in the first quarter, can you really say that? Like, honestly, can you say that? All of those points on one person? Or is it the whole team? Okay. Second quarter. Okay. Make sure I got the right one. So in this half, or this quarter, I should say, you have a lot of the same things, but now it's starting. White hasn't even really started dropping a lot of points yet. Remember, he had 42. This is a strange thing about this game. Because when you go through it shot by shot, it's like, well, when is White going to start hitting shots or whatever? You'll see. So the first shot of the almost missed it. So the first shot of the second quarter. So Murray just missed a shot. He missed a jumper. It's a fast break. Bogey and Hunter are back on this one. Ayo has the ball. He runs to the 3. Bogey doesn't stop the ball. Okay. He doesn't come up to force him to hold it, to wait for his teammates, nothing. Who hadn't even made it over half court yet, by the way. AO shoots a wide open three. So here's the first shot of the second quarter.
Here's Murray elevating, can't hit. Javonte Green got a hand on it. Desumu's pull-up three, he got it.
So the Bulls shot 42% from three. This was a fast break. Bogey was back, but Bogey was almost all the way in the paint, wasn't he? And Bogey, that was his guy at that point. Bogey gave up a wide open three. Did Trae give up a wide open three? Not so much, right? Second shot. White brings the ball up. DJ is on him in this case. Vooch sets a pick. Bruno could have hedged. I'm telling you, he could have. Okay, you gotta believe me. Or Murray could have hopped over the pick. He could have fought through it. Bruno is now on White. Wes is in the paint for some reason. Okay. So when White turns the corner, instead of Hunter coming up and forcing a pass where he might have been able to give a contest, White passes it across court to a wide open DeRozan. Trae is now on the floor in this particular play, by the way. So here's the second shot of the second quarter.
Here's White turning the corner, whips it to DeRozan. You bet.
What did I say about overhelping? Watch it again.
Here's White turning the corner, whips it to DeRozan. You bet.
What is the reason for both Bogey and Wes to do what they did? There is none. Not basketball reason. There is none. Okay? There is none. Hear it. There is no reason for Bogey to come all the way from where he was into the paint, and no reason for Wes to be 15 feet off of his man. You stay with your man. You limit options when you do that. If White was going to hit that shot, White was going to hit that shot on his man. You got to play your man. Don't create where somebody is wide open for a shot, because that's what you do when you overhelp. There's no reason for those two players to be where they at, and it gave up another 3-point. Third shot. Let me hit this. And all right, so the third shot of the second quarter, Vooch again is at the top of the key as the center. Murray has DeRozan. Hunter's on Green. Vooch gets around Clint. West, again, somehow is in the paint, not really guarding anybody, but he steps up as Vooch shoots the ball. So since Clint is still trying to catch up to his man, Vooch gets a tip out. Knocks it out, right? DeRozan, who's open, since Murray ended up leaving him after the tap out, Trae sees DeRozan is open, tries to run out, then tries to change direction to White. DJ comes to rotate properly to AO, but then White cuts in with the dribble drive. So at that point, West is still actually not guarding anybody. Hunter is supposed to be on Green, but he shades over to DeRozan, which leaves Green wide open for a three from White. Let's watch that unfold.
Vucevic, the floater won't go, keeps it alive. DeRozan didn't take the three. Great breakdown from White. Green connects. Gorgeous possession and reload from Chicago.
Blocking out is necessary. Would it have stopped the tip? Maybe. We'll never know. But the rest of it is stay with your doggone man. Because look what all happened when you don't stay with your man and you're not paying attention to where you're supposed to doggone be. Fourth shot. DeRozan spins into a layup on West. Clint is there. Maybe he could have hard doubled, made DeRozan give the ball up, but let's see what actually happened.
Here's DeRozan spinning, got hooked, still able to finish.
So again, how's that Trae's fault? And why didn't Clint come over? Now, in that case, Clint's right there. Like, I'm going to play that again.
Here's DeRozan spinning, got hooked, still able to finish.
DeRozan wasn't looking at passing. As a basketball player, you got to be able to, you got to know it. It's basketball. You just got to feel it, whatever you want to call it, your spider senses. But he wasn't passing it to Vooch. He wasn't spinning he was spinning the score. So in that particular case, Clint needed to come over. Whatever happens, happens. But in that case, he needed to help. See, the times where he needs to help, he don't. And the times he don't need to, he does. That's the problem. Isn't it? That was the fourth shot of the second quarter. Let me split these up real quick. Sixth shot. Hunter gets blocked by Ayo in the lane on the other side. So it's a fast break. DeRozan has it. Trae tries to make a play on the ball. And he could have fouled him, but remember, there ain't no take foul. So, here or there, I guess, on that one. Clint needed to get back to Vooch, but didn't. If he had, Trae would have rotated to White, Murray to Green. But instead, White dribbles around Clint and lays it up. Let's see what happens. Did I say six shot? I think I'm losing it here. Oh, yeah, six shot. Here we go.
Hunter massaging his way, gets denied. DeSumo on the rejection. DeRozan on the flush. What a sequence from Chicago.
So Trae could have took the take foul, I guess, and given up points right then and there. But he was trying to go for the steal. He didn't get the steal. He still got a fast break, but DJ is down there. DJ could have tried to grab him and hold him to not score, but DeRozan dunks it right there. So I guess you can blame that one on Trae if you get down to it. But, I mean, I don't know. Hunter got blocked. Maybe he shouldn't have got blocked, right? I don't know. See what I'm saying? It's like, how can you try to attribute each loss to just one person and not a whole entire team? Because I'm a logical person and I play ball. You see what I'm saying? Shot number 7 of the second quarter. Vooch again is at the top of the key. He gets around Clint again. Murray comes to get in front of Vooch. White is open, so Vooch gives him the ball. Now, again, Clint could have went back to Vooch by now, but he didn't. So that way Trae could have rotated to White and Murray to Green. But again, you're about to see what happens here. So this is the 7th shot.
For the Bulls, Vucevic flips it out. White zigzags and cups it home.
He's just so shifty. I don't think people give him the credit.
Now again, the Bulls had 72 points in the paint. Who did White just score on right there? Right? Wasn't Trae. It clearly wasn't Trae. Okay, but still blame Trae if you got to. But I live in the real world, and I just saw what I just saw. Okay? People need to switch back. But anyway, so that was the 7th shot. Eighth shot of the second quarter. DeRozan has the ball. This time, Hunter slips the screen that Vooch was trying to set. But again, Clint comes to double for some stupid reason and creates a mismatch needlessly. Okay? White drives around Bogey. Clint tries to come across the court to cover Caruso because Trae had to step up to cover Ayo because Bogey had went to cover White. White drives. He gets past Murray and Bogey and Hunter, who was there. But again, nobody stepped up into the ball or to contest the shot. So let's watch the 8th shot of the second quarter.
Proud player that he is today, and he now feels certain his name should be brought up in discussions as, quote, a real deal player for his class. And guys, he made a leap this season as he did right there, getting the bucket.
That wasn't Trae creating a mismatch. That was Clint again creating a mismatch needlessly. There wasn't no need for that right then and there. Not then and there. The second quarter. Okay? That wasn't needed right then and there. Not in that particular spot. See, when you double, there needs to be, again, I'm trying to think of a word to explain the win and the win and the why. There needs to be a win and a why. Okay, that wasn't it, because all that did was what I just described. It created mismatches that were not needed, and White just laid it up. At the end of the day, why is he getting a layup? That's what needs to be looked at, right? Shot number 9. Murray has the ball on offense. He's about to shoot. Clint let, I don't know how I read this. Clint let Vooch gets position. So Vooch ends up getting the rebound off of Murray's miss. So AO gets the ball and sprints. He gets a layup on Hunter on this one. And here's where Murray is basically kind of telling Hunter to come up when Murray should have stopped the ball in this particular case. So I'm going to let y'all watch that.
4 rebounds, 3 assists. He does have 2 fouls as that jumper won't go for Murray. Caruso back in for Chicago. DeSumo blazing to the rim.
Why didn't Murray stop the ball? Murray was there. Murray's the closest to him. Murray's quick enough to have slided over to prevent him from getting that sprint. But once he got that sprint, he was all the way in there. But then why did Hunter let him lay it up? The Bulls had 72 points in the paint, y'all. I'm going to keep repeating that. At the beginning of this segment, of this Bulls segment, the play-in segment, I should say, Bulls hit 42% from 3 and had 72 points in the paint. Tenth shot. I'm not sure what Clint is doing again, but AO goes around him, gets a layup at the rim. Let's blame Trey for not getting the block shot. So here's number 10.
3 to shoot. DeSumo pedals through. Oh, my! The soft touch from Ayo DeSumo.
Why is Clint on AO? Ayo, whatever his name is. Why is Clint on him? And then why didn't Clint stop him? He got laid up on again. Again, with Clint, if he didn't score at all, I wouldn't care, but he needs to be evening that out with 18 boards a night, like Dennis Rodman used to do or whatever. Or 4 blocks a night. Clint don't get 4 blocks a night. He doesn't deter shots. Nobody cares about Clint being down there. People lay the ball up, and they know they can. Nobody is scared of Clint. That's a problem. When you also can't really score. You see what I'm saying? Now, yeah, in this game, he scored 22, yada, yada. But that's not every night. If he was scoring 22 points a game, we wouldn't have no problem. He scores 11 points a game, y'all. That's a problem. He's not a stopper, and he can't be counted on offense. That's where your 4-on-5 hole is. It ain't Trey who gives you 25 and 10. It's not Trey. But y'all can blame Trey if you want to. It's cool. Okay. That was shot number 10, right? So here's shot number 11. So let me break these up a little bit. We're almost done with the second quarter, actually. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you follow on Instagram and Facebook, IMTN Worldwide Images, and also IMTN Worldwide Radio on Instagram and Facebook. IMTNWorldwideRadio.com is the website. And of course, IMTN Worldwide Radio on YouTube. Make sure you follow. So that was shot 10. Shot 11. Trying to catch up here. All right, here we go. So DeRozan, again, is atop at the key of the key. I said this was going to be a theme with somebody being at the top of the key, right? Because they keep running the same stuff. Hunter is on him. He avoids the pick. Oh, no, this is a different shot. I can say it's all running together now. It's terrible. He avoids the pick from Vooch, which is good, but then Clint, again, leaves his man to double DeRozan. Vooch gets the ball. Trey, I guess, was supposed to block the shot, but like I said, at least he stepped up for the charge. So this is shot 11. I hope I'm not repeating. I don't think so.
18 points, 5 assists in this first half for DeMar DeRozan. Draws 2, finds Vucevic. He flips it in.
That's on Clint. Clint had no business doing what he was doing right there. It's a waste of time. It's a wasted effort. It's almost, I swear to God, sometimes when he does that, every single time, it's like he's taking himself out of the responsibility of playing the defense on the big that he's supposed to be on. Because every time he does that, look what just happened. The Bulls scored 72 points in the paint. And that's one of the main reasons why. 12th shot. Now, here's one I believe you can definitely blame on Trae. Okay. I'm missing a shot here, I think. Sure am. So, 12th shot. So, wow, I'm just not noticing that. So, Trae has at the top of the key. Why do I have Trae? I got the wrong person there. Mixed up a little bit, but I'll fix it. I'll just play it in this case, and I'll describe it after the fact.
3-point Bulls lead, 2-for-1 opportunity. White reverses it in. Kobe White with 17 first half points.
So White basically has the ball at the top of the key, and he basically just drives into the paint. Now, again, Trae comes up to try to, say a little bit of a, something, but White with his shiftiness just gets up there. So that's the one that you can say Trae gave up 2 points right there for sure, I guess, right? But who was on him, though, initially? How did Murray let him get all the way through there, right? I mean, one player can't stop 5. One player can't stop 12. There's 12 players that are usually playing on the other team, right? One player can't stop all those guys from scoring points. The goal is to stop the other team from scoring as many points as you do. Or you got to score more points than they do. One or the other, right? So if you can't do one, you got to do the other. That's why I said, like with the Pacers scored 123 points a game, while the Hawks scored 118 points a game. That's a chunk of points right there, right? Pacers said, we're just going to outscore everybody. We know we don't play no real defense. We know it. Coach knows it. Coach said it. But we can outscore you, though. Well, we could do that more times than not. And now we're in the Eastern Conference Finals to show that, right? Hawks can't outscore nobody, and we can't stop enough people to make that matter. And you're seeing a little bit of the why, front and personal, right? Now, for some reason, I don't have the 13th shot, so I'll describe it. I don't know what happened, but it was a busy day. So this was the last shot of the half. And one of the things I mentioned in this particular shot, and I wish I could show it. I don't know why I don't have it. I wonder if I can. I don't have time to do it. Did the bench, basically I'm asking on this one, did the bench call for a double on DeRozan, or did Murray do it on his own? So this was right at the end of the half where Murray had his man, but then started running towards DeRozan. So as DeRozan walks up, Hunter has DeRozan, but now because of Murray moving up, Murray now had Ayo, Trae has White, and then Bogey Caruso. But when Murray had run to double DeRozan, everybody had to rotate. Trae sees that Murray left his man. Ayo is crossing the court. So Clint has to come and pick him up. Trae is going to White. Trae went for the steal, which at that point in time wasn't a bad idea, but he didn't get it. Bogey is standing in the paint again, too far from Caruso. So when White comes up, he passes it to wide open Caruso. He hits a 3. That's the end of the first half. Okay. So that's first quarter and second quarter of the Bulls over the Hawks thus far. And again, the goal of this particular segment featuring the play-in game, the Chicago Bulls versus the Atlanta Hawks, is to say, and the whole show, obviously, because I did a whole lot at the beginning of the show, mentioning scores of games, the 28 games that Trae didn't play, and the whole 9 yards is, how are you really saying that Trae is the reason that you lose all these games because of his defense when all these other players are on the court? And the other team is scoring points galore. How are you still saying that? Why are you saying that? Why do you hate Trae so much that you'll say that the reason that DeAndre Hunter has injuries is because of Trae Young, and the reason that DJ didn't play good defense this season is because of Trae Young, rather than just saying DJ just didn't put that much effort into the defense this year. because he was scoring a little bit more, and Hunter is just bad at defense. Why not just say that? Because that's the truth. Hunter don't put no effort in on defense. He don't put no effort in on rebounding. He don't put no effort into blocking shots. He don't put no effort into steals. He can't fight through a screen. I showed y'all a whole bunch of Boston playoff footage where he's just, I'm going to try to get through this screen, but really I'm going to try to hook myself and make it look like I'm trying to get through the screen, but I'm not really trying to get out there for that three. Ain't my responsibility. It's bad business, y'all. So that was the first 2 quarters of the Chicago game. So the first shot of the third quarter, okay? Now remember, this game wasn't necessarily over at this point either. Keep that in mind as well, okay? So hopefully I got these right. So first shot of the third quarter, White is bringing the ball up. Some reason, Bogey is on him, not sure why. Vooch comes up, sets his pick on Bogey. Bogey goes around it, okay? Clint properly goes back to Vooch on this one. White goes to the basket as Hunter lets him go by without stopping him. Murray, who was cheating in the paint a little bit, leaves the paint as White lays it up. So that's going to be the first shot that you see for the third quarter.
To your point, RJ, I spoke with the Hawks' coaching staff about what they needed out of Trae Young, and they said they need Trae to continue to be Trae and look for ways to create for others, and hopefully that will open things up for them.
So that wasn't on Trae. That was on Bogey. Again, not sure why Bogey was on White, because at that point, White, scoring points a lot in the paint. But Bogey is on him. I mean, we know Bogey is not the best player on defense either. Again, I keep saying it. How do you try to attribute all the defensive lapses on one player when you got multiple players in your starting lineup that don't play defense this year? Bay don't play defense, really. He don't move his feet. He can rebound for his position, but he can't stop nobody. He was in the starting lineup. You got Clint, who everybody lays the ball up on. He doesn't play post defense well at all. You've seen that so far. Vucevic is coming from the three-point line and driving in and getting layups. So if DJ also isn't really good on defense most of the time, that's 3 players besides Trae. That's 4 players. JJ would be the only one left, but remember, there was a point in time where we were missing Trae and JJ and O and Bay all at the same time. And the other teams were still dropping 40 on us, okay? Go back to Intellect ATL, and if you go back a couple of weeks, maybe not that long, I did all of the shots that Luka hit in January, 73 points. Who was he scoring on? Go back and watch. Anyway, that was the first shot of the third quarter. Second shot of the third quarter, we've got a big note on this one. Why? So DeRozan starts at the top of the key. Hunter has him. Vooch sets another screen, dives to the bucket. DeRozan drives to his right. For some reason, Bogey comes over and leaves his man wide open. Murray is there, though, and he stops the ball, makes DeRozan have to pass it to White. White swings the ball to Ayo. He doesn't shoot. Bogey then comes up. Ayo drives around him. Murray, who had picked up White, now comes to offer some resistance. Clint, instead of staying with Vooch and guarding the paint, jumps up out of the box. Like literally, he jumps up out of the box. And White is able to give it to Vooch for an easy pass for a reverse layup because Clint is out of position yet again. My co-host on Around the ATL, the regular show, he always talks about how Clint is out of position way too freaking much to be a big. Way too much. Way too much. Watch shot number 2 of the third quarter.
For Young, and the pinky are still together, but the rest of the wrap, as you notice, Richard, is totally gone. Here's Dosunmu, 3 to shoot. Shovels underneath. Vucevic lays it in.
That don't work. He's coming to you. You go up at the point of attack. You jumping up gives him an avenue to pass the ball. And that's what happened, right? It's basketball. This is just basketball, y'all. Third shot of the third quarter. Ayo has the ball. Bogey is on him. Vooch comes up to set another pick. Bogey picks himself as far as I'm concerned. Clint backs away, allowing AO to drive. Hunter has left his man and sitting in the paint. Clint is still backing away. AO, IO, whatever his name is, pulls up for a jump shot. So this is going to be shot number 3.
Well, in my conversations with him earlier today, he did say his doctors said that he could probably remove the brace by next week. So maybe he just figured.
Want me to play that again? I'll play it again.
Well, in my conversations with him earlier today, he did say his doctors said that he could probably remove the brace by next week. So maybe he just figured.
Is that cool for y'all? I mean, if that had been me, I'd been sitting the next game. You see what I'm saying? If that's how I was playing, like for a whole game or whatever, the next game, whoever got down, like let's say if my team lost and I was playing like what you just saw right there, I wouldn't be playing the next game. For sure, I wouldn't be playing. They wouldn't pick me up. Chris ain't giving no effort. Chris don't got it tonight. Something's wrong. Something is wrong because Chris is just sitting there. Chris didn't even try to contest or nothing. That's what happens when I play on Sunday. And again, all the people who I be playing against, most of them are 20 years younger than me. Straight up. Some of them younger. Okay. Okay. But I'm out there running full court, playing 16-minute games. Okay. And we play usually 4, 5, 6 games, depending on how many people are out there. And the last game is up to 25. That's 2s and 1s going to 25. You know how grueling that is in a hot gym? We play in a gym that sometimes if they don't turn the air on, it's like the old Boston Garden. Okay? Full court, 16-minute quarters. You're playing 48 minutes plus in a night, sometimes 60 minutes. I'm out there though, okay? But anyway, so 4th shot. DeRozan has the ball. Hunter is on him. DeRozan drives. Bogey comes out again for some reason to help. In this case, he leaves his man open again. DeRozan passes to IO. Bogey tries to recover. AO drives around him. Hunter, who's 10 feet away from DeRozan, lets AO by. So Trae steps up to stop the ball. AO then passes to Green. Clint, who again has left his man the entire possession for some reason, now comes up to try to cut Green off. His man, so AO passes to the wide open Vooch. Hunter didn't rotate over once he saw Clint was in the paint. You're about to see what happens.
Then I get why he would take it off.
Mid-range jumper is good for Vucevic.
And did you see that little lean that Hunter did? Was that defense? Or was he trying to play tag? Tag, you're it. I ain't gonna move my feet and come over and actually stop you and hope my teammate maybe rotate. But since he didn't do that, he needed to rotate over to Vooch. Like I said, Clint's over there roaming around. His man is wide freaking open. We don't know how to play zone defense. We cannot rotate. We don't block out. We don't get back on defense. It's a problem. We don't know how to switch. We don't know how to communicate any of the switches. So if you don't know how to do it, you need somebody to teach you how to do it. And we don't have somebody to do that either. So this is what we get. Easy jumpers. 5th shot, DeRozan has the ball. Hunter is on him. DeRozan takes a contested jumper. Ball is in the air. DJ blocks out his man properly. Clint has left Vooch again, goes to get the rebound, hopefully, but he isn't able to. So AO gets the ball. AO dribbles. Green has gone to the top of the key. This is really terrible. I hate this one. DJ doesn't follow. Bogey doesn't follow AO. Clint is watching the ball, so nobody picks up Green. Green runs to the basket. AO lobs it. Easy dunk as Murray tries to deflect the pass, but it's too late. This one really makes me mad, though. Watch it.
DeMar DeRozan with DeJounte Murray that Cassidy detailed. And one of the things Billy Donovan talked about with us before the game as Green throws down the lob from DeSumo.
I don't even want to repeat that one. Shot number 6, 3rd quarter. at the start of the play, you're going to see Clint running into Hunter a little bit. And from NBA.com, I don't know how they actually choose how they start the clip, but at this clip, I can only assume that Vooch set another pick for Clint to be running into Hunter, okay? So instead of Clint staying with Vooch again, he tries to double DeRozan. DeRozan passes to Vooch. DJ has White on this play. Now, in this case, Trae is way off his man, who is Green. Bogey has Io. Vooch gets the ball. Green cuts. Now, right there, it should have been a layup on Trae. Okay. But instead, remember, Clint hadn't gotten back to Vooch yet. So it gets passed to White. Also, Murray has shaded Green since Trae had left his man. So here's where this one, I would say, is on Trae. Murray comes to White. Now DJ has White. White goes around him. Clint, who was following Vooch now through the lane, trying to get back, had an opportunity to stop White. White lays it up after White gets around DJ. So let's see how this transpires on the 6th shot of the third quarter.
Right now, DeMar DeRozan is showing the young players how you need to behave when you are a veteran one day.
White swims in and finishes. Kobe White has been moving at a different gear than everybody else.
72 points in the paint given up, y'all. 72 points in the paint, primarily because we don't have no defensive discipline as a team. And you can't keep saying, oh, well, you know, they should know how to play defense. They're getting paid $20 million a year. That's not true. That's just not it. Players sign a contract to be coached. Just like Jordan was coached, just like Kobe was coached. Jordan had to learn the triangle. Kobe had to do this or whatever. You hear all these stories. Someone taught them how to do these things over a period of time. Or they got into the gym and they repeated the same stuff over and over and over again. What are we doing in practice? I don't know, because it never translates on the court. Hardly. Every now and again it does for like half a game sometimes, but not most of the time. Not as much as we need it to. So we need somebody on the bench that knows what they're talking about on defense to tell people, hey, you're doing – to tell people, hey, you're doing it wrong. And here's why. We don't have that person for some reason. I don't know why. Number 7, DeRozan has the ball. Vucevic sets a pick. Hunter goes under the pick. Clint, instead of getting back to Vooch, backs up. Hunter gets back on DeRozan. DeRozan passes to Vooch again. Vooch then drives to the bucket on Clint and puts up a baby hook in the paint. So here's shot number 7 of the third quarter.
You know the rules inside out after your boot camp, where you got to really learn what it was like to be an NBA.
Why didn't Clint stop him? I'm not sure, but he didn't. So let's blame that on Trae too, right? 8th shot, number 8. So at this point of the game, it was a 3-point game, Bulls. Okay. DeRozan is at the top of the key. DeRozan drives on Hunt. By the way, like I said, DeRozan at the top of the key is a theme. So DeRozan's at the top of the key. DeRozan drives on Hunter, and it looks like Hunter got popped, like in his face or something. He goes down. Clint leaves his man instead of letting Garrison get the possible charge. When that happened, Vooch gets a wide open 3. And since nobody could rotate fast enough, let's see the result.
The lead for Chicago is just 3. DeRozan feeds Vucevic in the corner. He got it.
Rotations, people. Rotations. Number 9, 9th shot. I'm sure you're going to love this one, okay? So here's one you can blame Trae. He feels contact and puts up a shot, hoping for the foul, doesn't get it. AO comes down for an uncontested dunk. Only he and DJ had got back on defense. So even though it wasn't technically a defensive play, it's off of a, he's trying to get the foul, which he's supposed to do, And he gets the call sometimes, but not all the time. But here's how that particular shot happened.
Even close, but a big response there from Vucevic. Trae Young wanted a whistle, did not get it. Instead, it's Dosunmu to the rim.
So that's a nice shot. So let's chalk that up to Trae, I guess. Right? Is that the whole game, though? No, by no means. But that one, for sure, 2 points. Let's give him that one. Number 10, 10th shot of the third quarter. White has the ball. West has him. Garrison has Ayo. Murray has Green on this one. Vooch sets a pick. West doesn't get around it. So Clint is on White. Murray, unfortunately, is ball watching a little bit, so he doesn't see Green cut into the basket. But he sees that Ayo has slided to the corner, so he shades him while White is still driving on Clint. Okay? White goes to the bucket as Garrison literally turns his body away as he lays the ball up on Clint. Let's watch.
Javonte Green and Dosunmu for Chicago. White into the lane, cups it in. He has really whirled his way to the hoop whenever he's wanted.
Whenever he's wanted. Did y'all hear that? 72 points in the paint. 72 points in the paint. 72 points in the paint and 42% from three. That's what they did. Shot number 11. Now, again, I always talk about it on Intellect ATL on Twitter. I talk about it on my Sunday night basketball videos. I always talk about blocking out, right? Ball goes up, you need to know where your man is. You need to be not even arm's reach. You need to be pinky reach. I can't do pinky. I'll do this one. You got to be pinky reach of your man. You got to know where your man is. Okay. I ain't gonna do the Charles Barkley, when you're banging on your man. So I always talk about blocking out. So the Bulls had 72 points in the paint, right? 11 second chance points, right? Man, my internet is going crazy. So the Bulls had 72 points, 11 second chance points. In this case, White has the ball, okay? Trae is guarding him, all right? White takes a step back three. He misses it, all right? So Bogey has DeRozan now. Hunter has Green. Murray has Terry, okay? When the shot goes up, 4 Hawks are in the paint. Let me make sure I got this queued up. 4 Hawks are in the paint. Bogey, Hunter, Bruno, and Murray. Bruno is the only one that has a body on his man. If Murray had blocked out, he or Bruno or even Hunter gets the rebound. Instead, Terry gets it and puts it up on Bruno, who tries to recover too late. So let's watch that happen.
White has 24. His three. No. Terry the offensive rebound and squeezes it in. The lead is 12 for Chicago.
By the way, that was Trae contesting the three-pointer by White. So, again, it's Trae's fault that they're scoring all these points. Well, again, Trae Young only had 42% shots hit on him. Garrison only had 1 of 6 shots hit on him, 16%. Everybody else on the Hawks, players hit 50+% or higher on them, all the way up to 66% actually. Okay, so Trae wasn't giving up all the points, but I'm showing you this in a visual form so people can understand it for themselves. Because again, you can't just say something and hope it happens. It actually has to have happened. That's why I'm showing all of these plays. So that was shot number 11, I believe. So shot number 12 of the third quarter. We're almost done with the third quarter, by the way. So DeRozan has the ball this time. Drummond picks Hunter. Hunter doesn't get around it. Bruno switches to DeRozan, but then he leaves him. At the same time, Hunter has left Drummond. Meanwhile, Bogey has again left his man for no reason and is in the paint. DeRozan, instead of passing it to a wide open Terry, dribbles and shoots a jumper on Hunter. So that's shot number 12.
DeRozan, 18 points, 8 assists, and hits there.
else to say, y'all. I mean, I'm trying to be reasonable. I'm trying to be reasonable. But again, the premise was people told me that Trae Young is the reason we're losing all of our games because of his defense and his defense alone, defense alone, and nobody else is responsible for playing their man. Nobody else on the house is responsible for defense. Nobody can play defense because of Trae. And Trae is the reason that Hunter can't stay on the court. Hunter keeps getting injuries because of Trae Young. That's what I was told. Is that reasonable to anybody? Shot 13. Hunter takes and misses a three. White gets the rebound. Nobody stops the ball. First thing. White comes all the way up the court. Now, Hunter could have stopped the ball. Trae comes up to try to stop. White gets around him. Bowie comes up. White spins and gets a layup. Meanwhile, Hunter has been gliding, walking the whole play. Why didn't he also block him at the bucket since he didn't stop him at half court? Watch shot number 13 for me.
Hunter hand hit the three. Rebound out to White. Here's White. Standing between two. What a finish from the twirling Kobe White.
Over and over and over again, right? What's the name of that song? Over and over again. I can't remember. Isn't that not T.I.? Wow. Have I really forgot his name? St. Louis dude. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But anyway, did y'all see that? Didn't stop the ball and then didn't come all the way down the court. And then he still had a chance to stop the bucket and didn't do that either. And that's Hunter, who's supposed to be our best defensive player. But he can't play defense because of Trae. That's Trae's fault? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. Last shot of the third quarter. I believe I got this queued up correctly. Yes, I do. Wait a minute. Why I got it? Interesting. I did it twice. Anyway, so, oh, no, that's why. Oh, okay, I see what I did. So 14th shot. Green has the ball. Garrison is on Green. Bogey has Terry. Murray has Ale. Green passes it to Terry. Terry then drives. Now, Murray had his back turned. Terry passes to a wide open Ale for three. Let's see how that translates out.
Terry slinks into the paint, sets up to Sumu. On a three.
I'm going to play that again.
Terry slinks into the paint, sets up to Sumu. On a three.
You see what I mean? That shot's not possible if you're on your man. Don't matter what's going on over there. You don't create an extra option because you're worried about what's going on behind you. You stay with your man. So if that was me, I would be here. You can't get no pass to that man if I'm doing that, right? You ball watching, you're giving your team a disadvantage. And especially if you're 10, 20 feet off the ball. You can't do that. You can't do it. You got to have your discipline and say, I'm staying with my man, no matter what. No matter what. The reason that my guy scored 1 point instead of 7 points, because I wasn't going to let him get the ball. I wasn't going to let him get the ball on the perimeter. I wasn't going to let him get the ball in the post. If he tried to post me up, I move him out the post and make it to where they can't pass it to him because Chris might deflect it. If he's on the perimeter, I'm not letting him get the ball. My hands are up. My hands are doing all kind of stuff to be like, oh, he can't get no clear path to get a pass because I'm in the way. I'm running around with this 18-year-old. I'm running with him all the way around the court. And remember, we play clock, but we don't have a shot clock. So a possession could literally be 40 seconds. So it's terrible. You be gassed out there, I'm telling you. But my job is to stop my man from scoring. And I have pride in trying to stop my man from scoring. And over 40 years, I got a pretty good reputation that if I'm on you, you're probably not going to score that many points. Okay? Unless you're the Michael Jordan of the other team or whatever, and we can't switch because of mismatches or whatever, and that could happen. But I'm still not going to just let you drop 50 on me. You're not going to do that. You're going to hit a couple of shots, but you're not going to hit as many as you think you are, because I'm going to play up on you. And then I'm going to rely on my guys to make sure they switch, just in case they get around me. That's where it's not even about trust. It's about being where you're supposed to be. And the Hawks are never where they're supposed to be. That's why I'm doing this. They're never where they're supposed to be. Okay? So that was third quarter. Was that the last shot of the third quarter? No, I got one more. 15th shot. DeRozan has the ball. Hunter is on him. He dribbles. He shoots a jumper, and he hits. Pretty easy. Here we go.
He has been an impact player. Even for Chicago to get him where they have him on that contract is beneficial for Chicago.
DeRozan!
Is that Trae's fault? No. So what I'm going to do is, because for some reason, I might be able to do this. It looks like I forgot to add the fourth quarter. That's why I was lost. So let's see. I got a comment. Let's read the comment. Hey, what's up? Damon, what's going on, man? Appreciate you tuning in. So if y'all don't want to, if y'all give me a second, I can download, because for some reason I got two shows today. So I was loading up for Bear because I got Falcons draft footage and highlights and stuff, and highlights for the Hawks #1 draft pick and stuff. And I got all these different things. And for some reason, I neglected to pull the fourth quarter. So if you give me just a quick second, let me see if I can find it. Let's see. That's the third quarter. That's the second quarter. There's the fourth quarter. There's not that many shots in the fourth quarter, actually, if I remember. Oh, maybe I don't. Let's see. Second quarter, third quarter. Well, I'll upload. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay, there it goes. Second shot, fourth quarter. Give me a second, y'all. I'm almost there. There was only 7 shots in the fourth quarter. All right, it worked. So like I said, on NBA.com, for some reason, the first shot isn't listed. So I described it. So the first shot of the fourth quarter of the Bulls versus Hawks playing game was a 9-foot floating layup that White hit at the 11:29 mark of the fourth. So it did happen. I just can't show it. Oh, wow. All these downloaded all mixed up. So let's see if I can do this. Second shot, third shot, fourth, and fifth, and sixth, and seventh. There we go. So second shot of the last quarter of the play-in game that we did not win. White has the ball. Again, for some reason, Bogey is on White. White dribbles around Bogey for a layup as Clint watches. So second shot of fourth quarter.
Here's White. Going to shake Bogdanovich. He does. 32 for Kobe White.
You see, there was 10 minutes left there. So the game wasn't necessarily out of reach. Why is Bogey on White at that point? If you're one of the best defensive players on the team, why aren't you taking the task to guard the guy who's hitting all the shots on the other end? Anybody can answer that for me. I still don't ever get that question answered. Because like I say, when I play basketball, just like I played yesterday, I had to play the guy who was basically like the microwave on the Detroit Pistons. He was hitting everything, okay? Everything. But my team won all the games, though, because I play team ball. You see what I'm saying? I can contest a shot, but I also can rebound. I can also post up. I'm going to make stuff hard for you. Okay. But look at, let me play it again. Second shot, fourth quarter.
Here's White. He's going to shake Bogdanovich. He does. 32 for Kobe White.
Clint just let that happen. Clint's supposed to be the guy there, and Clint just let him lay that up too. The Bulls scored 72 points in the paint and 42% from three. Blame that on Trae too. Go ahead if you can. I don't think you can do it though. All right. What is this? This is the third shot. So the third shot, now listen to the commentator on this one. So he mentions how the Hawks are 27th in defensive rating. Okay. And again, one player can't do that on their own. That's a whole team. That's 12 players doing that. Okay. And if you've seen the reasons why the Hawks are bad at defense, because people aren't where they're supposed to be. People won't stay with their man. People won't switch. People won't fight through a doggone screen and a pick sometimes. People are doubling people, overhelping for no reason. That's not one player doing that. One player has never gave up 130 points in a game by themselves. That's never happened in NBA history. Not even in the olden days with the wire basket or whatever, right? So here's the third shot. White has the ball. DJ is on him. DeRozan comes to set a pick. Instead of just stepping up and through, DJ goes under in this one. Not sure what Hunter was doing, but he comes up too far. White goes past him. Since DJ went under the pick instead of through it, he could stop White from driving, but he doesn't. So Garrison, he is there, but he doesn't pull up either. Now, also, Trae could have pulled up and doesn't as well. So we can blame the whole team on this one too, but you'll blame Trae. So White gets another layup, 72 points in the paint. This is the third shot of the fourth quarter.
Atlanta team that has struggled defensively all season, 27th in defensive rating, and Kobe White is just cutting them up. 34 points for White now.
He's at 34 points at that point. And also, Clint was down there too again, right? Make sure if you just now started watching, go to the beginning of the show, watch the show once it gets loaded up or whatnot, because I went through a lot of games, okay? I went through playoff games. I went through the 28 games that Trae didn't play, okay? Losses and wins to show, well, Trae ain't playing. Why are people still bad on defense? Why are people still getting 60, 70 points in the paint? Why are people hitting 40% from three on a regular basis? Why is this guy dropping 36? Why is Joel Embiid and Maxey scoring 30 and 38 points respectively if Trae ain't on the floor no more? Oh, well, Chris, we won 6 out of 7. I mean, so are you saying that we won those 6 out of 7 missing 4 players, 3 starters and a bench player? Or are people finally doing their jobs a little bit better than usual? Because you kind of had to, because you're missing 4 players. See, if people were doing their jobs all the time, we wouldn't be having this discussion. The problem is we don't have enough people capable of doing their jobs and or don't want to do their jobs that well. And if we're watching this game, you've seen too many times where people just let stuff happen. You watched that Boston series footage that I showed earlier where Hunter is picking himself. He is self-screening himself, mostly on Marcus Smart and or Al Horford. He ain't even trying to get through those screens. He just, ref, man, you see this? You see him holding me up, ref? Instead of going through he's just letting Tatum hit threes, Watching Brown go backdoor on him when he ain't even guard nobody. That's why I get upset. But yet you're still going to just try to blame Trae Young on everything, as if he was brought in to be the stopper on the team. He was drafted to be Gary Payton. He was drafted to be Bruce Bowen. He was drafted to be the Matrix. He was drafted to be one of the Indiana Pacers that played defense all the time, right? Can't remember his name right off the top of my head. He wasn't drafted to be none of those guys. And Trae, again, ain't the worst defensive player on our team. best player on our team supposed to be on defense is supposed to be first or second team all defense the last 5 years. Have some defensive player of the year votes. And he ain't did that yet still. And he ain't going to do it because now he's going to come off the bench. He's just going to be a scorer now. He don't rebound. He don't block shots. He don't get no steals. I don't need him to get 20 blocks and 5 steals and 7 blocks. I need Hunter to get 8 rebounds, 7 or 8 rebounds. I need him to get a block a game. He can't get a block a game. He can't get 1 or 2 steals a game. John Concac has 400 steals. Hunter has 174. Do I need to read that again? Let's see if I can not lose my place. So I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. Trae has 414 steals in 6 seasons. For their history, John Concac has 515. Kevin Willis has 581. Paul Millsap has 496. Paul didn't play his whole career in Atlanta. Al Horford has 482. Tree Rollins has 452 steals. Kent Bazemore has 430. By the way, Mookie and Dominique has over 1,000, if you wanted to know. Hunter has 174 steals in his career, y'all. But he's supposed to be our 3-and-D player. He's supposed to be our defensive stalwart. Man, get out of here with that stuff. He ain't showing it. He hasn't shown it. He hasn't stopped anybody that we need stopped on the other side. How many times have you said in 5 years, Hunter locked him up, locked him down, stopped him? Jason Tatum, Brown, Spider, anybody. When we needed it the most. Last year in that Boston series, if Hunter had shut one of those 2 guys down or slowed them down, whatever you want to use the terminology, we win that series. Trae was doing everything needed to win the series. We just needed some stops from some people and not layups. Brogdon was laying the ball up. Smart was. Y'all saw the footage. I played it for y'all, right? It's not cool. What shot was I on? I think I'm on the 4th shot. So 4th shot of the last quarter of the game. White has the ball. DJ is on him. Vooch sets a pick. DJ gets around it, but Clint again, you'll see what happens. 4th shot, 4th quarter.
White finds Vucevic for the finish. 22 for Nikola Vucevic.
We have no shot because they know that's what's going to happen. There's not going to be a deviation of what happens on that right there. Let's play it again.
White finds Vucevic for the finish. 22 for Nikola Vucevic.
Murray did his job right there. He got around the screen. There's no reason for Clint to keep playing it as if that didn't happen. And Clint does it no matter what. So either someone is telling him to do it or he's doing that on his own. And nobody is stopping him from doing it. Clint is the one who creates the mismatches 80% of the time on the floor. I've showed y'all that today, right? It ain't Trae. Trae's going to give us some buckets, whether it be he's trying to play something or he ain't paying attention, like most of our team, or he's just the shortest guy on the floor. He ain't going to stop Vooch from getting a rebound, or Drummond for that matter. He ain't going to stop those guys if he's in the paint. That's not going to happen. But he's not giving up all these layups here. 5th shot. And we're 3 shots away from being done with this particular game. And this is what I'll be doing for the whole 2023 season. I'm going game to game to show y'all what happened, but I'm going backwards, okay? And make sure you watch the beginning of the show because, like I said, I broke down a lot of games already. Make sure you're following IMTN Worldwide Radio on YouTube. Make sure you're following on Instagram or Facebook, IMTN Worldwide Radio. You could also go to the website, bookmark it, because it also has the updates of new shows, articles, some of the articles I've written over the years. And also, eventually, I'll get my gear together to where if you want to get around the ATL shirt, you can do that too. 5th shot. So, You would think by now that Clint would just stay back and not allow himself to be picked. I always talk about hedging or not just backing up and not letting the pick happen. They can't pick you if you don't want to be picked. I do it all the time. I know. But anyway, I play center all the time. But anyway, DeRozan has the ball. Hunter is on him. Clint is trying to guard DeRozan again. Garrison is in the paint as a result of leaving his man open. Clint finally leaves, but DeRozan is already dribbling, then passes it to White. DJ is like 5 feet away or so, and lets White hit a contested three. It's a late contest, though. And he hits it, of course, because they hit 42% for three in the game, obviously, right? Here's the 5th shot of the 4th quarter.
Team onslaught by the Chicago Bulls. Everyone contributing at a high level.
White will fire. You bet.
How was that one Trae's fault? Who was guarding White right there? Do I need to replay? I'm not going to replay it, but my goodness. How was that Trae's fault? That's a wide open three. Right? Late contest, but it's still wide open, right? Shot number 6. Bulls have ran the same play basically the whole game. I already told y'all that, right? So White has the ball. Murray is on him. Hunter is on DeRozan. Vooch comes to set the pick. Clint dives half at the – I can't get over this one. He basically dives for the half-court line and leaves Vooch all by himself. Murray and Trae have left their guys. Vooch can either pass back to White for a three, but this time Green, because Green actually did this before and they didn't pass it to him, Green dives to the basket and gets a layup from Vooch because Trae comes up to try to stop Vucevic. But if Clint had just stayed with his man, that doesn't happen. Clint, again, is always needlessly getting out of position. It's irritating. It's terrible. Got to have a change. So here's shot number 6, 4th quarter of the play-in game with the Bulls.
Will they run it back with Young and Murray, or do they use the offseason to try and unload one of them and build around the other as Green lays it in? Another gorgeous set from Chicago.
You run it until the other team stops it, and we wouldn't stop it. We would not stop it by any means necessary. We just let it happen again and again and again. You get the picture. Last shot. So this is a 7th shot that the Bulls made in the 4th quarter. I didn't even go through the missed shots. I could have, but that would have took forever. So White has the ball. Hunter is on him. White dives to the basket, passes to Green. Green passes to Vooch. Clint is playing way off. So when he tries to come up on Vooch, Vooch drives all the way to the basket. Another layup.
And now he's taking on a big role for this team, and even bigger with the injury to Caruso tonight as Vucevic slides in for 2. He has 24 points.
24 points. So White had 42. Vooch had 24. DeRozan had 22, I believe. I'm scrolling back up to check everything. And they had 72 points in the paint, 11 second chance points. They had 19 fast break points. They shot 42% from 3. How is this game Trae's fault that we lost this game? Nobody answered. Just think about it. Just think about the possibilities of me showing you every shot the Bulls hit in this game and attribute all of those to Trae. It's not that Trae makes it harder for anybody to play defense. Our players make it hard for everybody to play defense because nobody knows what they're doing out there. They're just out there. And I've been saying that for a long time. If you listen to Around the ATL from 2018 till now, you know that. If you read all my posts from 2018 till now, you know that. I said for the first 2 years of Trae Young's career, if we had played a semblance of defense, we would have made the playoffs those 2 years as well. Scoring wasn't a problem. We couldn't stop nobody. Nobody was trying to teach us no defense. And the head coach at the time said as much. I ain't trying to really teach them no defense. I don't think they can learn it. That's what he said. If you don't know what you're doing, you got to have somebody to teach you, whether it be computer programming, whether it be customer service, whether it be painting a building, whether it be cooking some food. Somebody got to teach it. And if you forget how to do it, you're doing it wrong all of a sudden, someone has to reteach you. That's your responsibility. That's going to be always your responsibility as the leader, as the coach, whoever it is. I always use my experiences in the past on the secular end, whether it be in the restaurant business, whether it be in sales, whether it be in management, recruit, whatever it is. It's my fault if stuff don't go well, because I'm the one who trained that person in inventory. If inventory is off, that's on me. I got to fix that. If a person is rude to a customer, that's on me. I got to fix that. Why are you being rude to a customer? How come this food is cold? How come we're out of chicken fingers? How come we don't have no more iPhones? We're supposed to have this iPhone. How come we don't got no more? What's going on? Where are they at? How come this paperwork ain't right? It's my fault because I'm the one who did the training. I got to take responsibility for that and retrain people, or I got to get rid of people because maybe they don't want to be trained. Maybe they don't want to learn. It happens. It's not fun, but you got to take responsibility because your job is on the line now. You can't just leave it up to them. I have a show that I did that's make sure you go to IMTN Worldwide Radio and click on Around the ATL. I have a show that talks about things of that nature, responsibility, accountability, and stuff like that. I have a whole bunch of shows just on that. I have breakdowns on a lot of the players. I got breakdowns on the seasons over the last couple of years. I've broken this stuff down again and again and again. The Hawks haven't done a good job of doing what all the other teams that have won have done. You have a good player and you build around them through the draft, the free agency, and trades. You spend the money. Our owner don't want to spend the money. He lies to us all the time. He lies in Sports Illustrated, The Athletic, video, actual calls and stuff. There he's saying, "Oh, luxury don't matter to me. I got the money. I got the cheddar. I can spend it." He ain't spending no money. We made no moves last year after going basically 500 the last couple years, going into the play-in every year. Didn't use the exception. Didn't get no free agents. Didn't do no trades. Didn't buy no contracts out. We're missing 5 players. We didn't do nothing to get better. Oh, well, Chris, we got the number 1 pick. We got lucky getting the number 1 pick. We didn't get it based off of losing the games. See how messed up that is? The year we get the number 1 pick since the 70s? It ain't even because we lost 50, 60 games or nothing like that. Come on. First of all, you don't lose games on purpose. Nobody should do that. Nobody does do that because players can't lose games on purpose. They don't. They're just bad. Coach is just bad, but you're not losing games on purpose because there ain't no guarantee on that pick doing nothing. Why would you give up a little bit of your career and your accomplishments and you trying to win a championship, because not too many people can win one, because of you trying to get a draft pick? The players don't get draft picks. Players don't care about that. They care about winning. One player has never stopped a team. I just showed y'all a whole game. And I went through 28 games that Trae missed this year. I went through the 3 playoff series that we played and showed y'all what we did in all of those games in those series. And you talk to yourselves and say, okay, you eliminate Trae off all those teams, what actually happens then? Who are you relying on at that point? Who's getting people the ball, for that matter? Who's getting people better shots because they're in the game rather than not? Clint basically is not even a player at that point, right? Because he can't hit no jumpers. He can only hit buckets at the rim. John could hit jumpers. He had moves. He could do stuff. That's why he averaged 19 points one season and 21 points the next season. And then they stopped giving him the ball for some stupid reason. You don't take a player that's averaging Hall of Fame numbers and get rid of them and say you're a better team. you're just an idiot to say that. You're crazy. You're drunk. Something's going on. Nobody got rid of Kyle Korver. Nobody got rid of. I mean, think about all the players we've had in Hawks history, and nobody fought to get rid of none of those players. Y'all didn't try to fight to get Sheldon out of here. Sheldon Williams was drafted fifth, as Dave Chappelle would have said, right? Marvin, number 2. There's a show that I did in regards to Hunter, and I went through all the number 4 draft picks since 1999. I said, y'all don't think Hunter should be better than some of these guys? Some of them? 15 points a game career, sometimes. Not a defensive stopper, anytime. And we needed him to be that. The Miami series was as close as we got to seeing what Hunter should be, and we never saw it again. That's not Trae's fault. That's not Trae's fault. Oh, and now he can play better off the bench. He feels like he can play better off the bench. He ain't a starter. What kind of talk is that? But fine. If that's all we can get out of you, that's cool. Now we just need to get somebody who can play some defense. Keep him on. I've always said it. If we have Hunter coming off the bench permanently, that's fine. It makes us a deeper team. We just got to get somebody who can stop somebody because he can't do it. He won't do it, one or the other. And we need somebody at center who can finish. Finishing at 73% from 0 to 5 feet out, and Clint shooting from 60% from the same distance is bad. That's a lot of points. Again, the Hawks lost 21 games by 7 points or less. Those layups counted a lot, y'all. Those layups counted a lot. Free throws counted a lot. Inability to hit a 10-foot jumper or a 4-foot layup or 5-foot layup. He don't got no touch around the rim. He can't hit the backboard square and put the ball in. He can't do it. He's not capable of doing that. And we're in today's league where you're supposed to be able to hit a 3 sometimes. Can hit a 3. Why can't Clint? Why ain't Clint required to do that? Why don't y'all be mad at Clint for not hitting a 10-foot jumper? Why can't he hit 75% from the free throw line? Can do that. Can hit a 3. Got some moves in the post. He finishes in the post. John did too. He shot 71% in 0 to 5 feet, but also can hit a 3. Also can hit a 10-foot jumper. That fadeaway 10-foot jumper was pure. Trae gets it over. That needs to change if we're going to be more competitive, where the whole rest of the East made moves. The last 2-3 years, everybody in the East made moves to be better every year, to get to a certain point. Except for the Hawks. The Hawks went backwards. The Hawks said, nah, we're good. We're good with Trent Forrest. We good. We straight. Garrison is all right, but we can't get better than Garrison. We can't get better than Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews, Garrison Matthews, and Trent Forrest for 50-plus games average 7 points a game total for 3 roster spots. What are we talking about? How are we better like that? Vic gave us some good minutes, but just as much as he gave us some good minutes, he gave us 2 3-point games too. I showed y'all that. We got to make a decision, one or the other. Maybe Vic, because he played a little bit better defense. Maybe Garrison, because he can hit some threes. He hits his 2 proverbial threes and gets his charge every game, right? Is that enough, though, to actually be a winner? Kumo G will be playing now. Kobe will be playing, so that helps you even things out a little bit. But our bench was not good last year. It wasn't good the year before that. Well, I take that back. It was better because you had JJ and Bay coming off the bench. Again, they started this year, and we didn't replace their production. Let John go without nothing. That was 3 roster players we didn't produce. We didn't reproduce their production. We just said, nah, we're good with what we got. And then you had injuries. So we were already not deep, and then you had 4 players out. What did anybody think was going to happen? It was a miracle we didn't lose 55 games. It was a miracle. We are not better without Trae Young. if we keep DJ and Trey, that's 2 20-point game scorers and a 10-assist game guy. So if you all of a sudden get JJ back, he's playing, you get a small forward who can play some defense and a center that can actually stop shots, deter shots, limit shots, play post defense, and finish at the basket, your whole dynamic changes. Because now, if you bring Bey back for one more year, he has one more year on his contract. You got Bey and Hunter and Bogey coming off the bench now all of a sudden, with Kobe in there a little bit, Kumo G. Now you're talking about a little something. Unless you can find somebody even better in one of those positions off the bench, possibly. Just depends. But if you get a really quality person in that starting lineup, 2 quality people in the starting lineup to replace what we've had there in Hunter and Clint, we can compete now. Because with all that happened this year, we're still really not that far away. Believe it or not, I know, might be the Japanese whiskey talking again. I wasn't drinking it. Just saying. But we can't keep doing this. Look at all the moves that the Pacers made and the Knicks made and basically every team that's above us in the freaking East. Orlando Magic, Cleveland Cavaliers. All those teams were above us. They all made some kind of moves over the last 2.5, 3 years that made them better. We did the opposite. It's like we tried to do the opposite. And even the owner said, oh, well, I should have did more instead of bringing everybody back. I should have did this. It was a mistake that I won't repeat. What happened last year? We brought everybody back again. He ain't doing it. He needs to sell the team as far as I'm concerned. You can't keep claiming you got money, you balling out of control, balling, right? And don't spend no money. You just lie. You're just a liar. Just a liar. It's like I always use the meme from Andor. Every day, more lies, deception, right? I wanted to do this show for my man, Eddie Carswell. I think he would have appreciated this. He was a big Trae fan. Hopefully, I'll be able to, stay on a little bit regular. It's been really rough trying to come back on the air. But hopefully tonight we'll have a good 2-hour show. Hopefully Jordan will be able to make it. We'll see. But I have a 2-hour show later on tonight at 10 o'clock. I haven't posted it yet. I'm going to get this done, and I'll schedule it a little bit later. But hopefully if you're an Atlanta sports fan, we on the Atlanta side notes, like I said, I just do topics. On Around the ATL, the big show, we go through everything. Atlanta United, Atlanta Dream, Atlanta, the new volleyball team, Atlanta Vibe now, Falcons, of course, Braves, of course, Hawks, obviously. We'll be talking the draft tonight for the Hawks and the Falcons a little bit. The Dream, like I said, the new volleyball team, Atlanta Vibe. We talk college football as well, seasonal. So we go through UGA, Georgia Tech sometimes, Georgia State, Albany State, Clark, all the schools that are in Georgia, we do that. So again, if you're a fan of Atlanta sports or whatnot, make sure, again, you follow the IMTN Worldwide radio page. That's my radio station. What's up, Mary? Do you think, let me finish this. IMTN Worldwide Radio on Facebook and Instagram. IMTNWorldwideRadio.com, the website as well. Go check that out. Do you think SAR will make a difference? Well, funny you should ask that, Marion. So tonight, when I do the 10 o'clock show, I do have some footage where I'll be talking about him. I'm only going to be talking about basically 2 centers, Sar and Klingon from UConn. I think those are the only 2 options I think we should be looking at the center position. There's people who want to trade down. My co-hosts don't really agree. It wouldn't be a disaster if we do it right. If we trade it down and get 2 players instead of just having, because we only have 1 pick this year. We only have 1 pick, okay? And we don't have any other picks because of the San Antonio trade after this. So we got to get this right for sure, right? It got to work out. Somehow it got to work out. But yes, I think he could help. One, he's going to deter shots. He has the length to do it, and he wants to do it. You can see that in his footage, his games that he's actually played. He actually has a turnaround jumper. He actually can hit a straightaway three. He don't need to hit 50%. He just needs to hit 30-something% to be a threat. You got to be a threat. You got to make somebody come up on you, right? He has touch around the basket. He can finish, right? But defensively, he can run the floor, okay? He can guard at the top of the key. If he gets switched on, he'll come up, okay? But he can block. He'll block some shots. So I think I believe he can get more than 2 blocks a game. Once he gets settled or whatever, I think he could be a 2 block a game or more guy, and I think he can finish. And because he can hit that shot, I just think he can. I think he could be really good. Okay, but Marvin Williams, Sheldon Williams, Adam Keefe, we don't have a good track record, unfortunately. For every Trey and JJ, we got AC Law and stuff. So it's not great. But yeah, I think he can help for sure. He also has to play. Again, you can't get better unless you're actually on the doggone floor. Again, from years ago, why was TLC still getting time when we had JJ? TLC was giving us 0-point games on the regular. We were trying to win, and we weren't trying to win. You see what I'm saying? It was stupid. It's stupid. Stupid. All right. And by the way, if you do tune into the show tonight, it will be a live show, which means you'll be able to call in. So this will be scrolling at the bottom tonight where you can call into the show. It's not active right now because the show is not live right now. So remember that. Also, Intellect ATL is my Twitter. Jordan23 is my co-host Twitter. So make sure you follow that if you haven't already done so. I'll give y'all a second to write that down or whatever you want to do. But for sure, if you follow the YouTube page, you'll get the notifications. IMTM Worldwide Radio on YouTube. Just do that. That'll help me out. Share it to people who likes Atlanta sports and stuff like that. We've been doing the show for a long time, for about 4 years now. We've had a lot of interviews as well. Bob Rathman, Steve Holman, the voice of the Hawks on 92.9. We've had them on a lot. Some pretty good shows. You should watch those interviews for sure. We've had Dominique Wilkins on. We've had John Collins on. We had Marvin Freeman from the Atlanta Braves on. Did I say Jerome Jurinovich? Jerome Jurinovich has been on the show. We've had Nikki Collins, former head coach of the Dream, on. We've had Angel McCautry, gold medalist, used to play for the Dream, on the show. Had a lot of people on the show, interview-wise. And hopefully we'll be getting some more people in the near future as we try to get regulars. It's been really tough to get regular shows again, just for different reasons. We'll get into that now. But if you subscribe to the page, that'll do me a world of good. Like I said, you can follow on Instagram, Facebook, IMTN Worldwide Radio. That's my station. I'm about to get out of here for now. Thanks for everybody paying attention, listening. Again, I will be doing this side note segment for the next couple of weeks. We're going to be going through all of the Atlanta Hawk games for the 2023 season, just to break each game down, just to show this is what happened each game. So what do we need to adjust to make this better per what we had? And hopefully we'll get more players, but this can be fixed eternally if they truly want to do it. And up till now, they just haven't done it. I've showed y'all just point blank, like, this is what actually happened. Like, this is just basketball. It's just basketball. And sometimes stuff is not that hard. It's really simplistic, right? And biggest thing, it ain't Trey. Trey has his faults, but to continue to try to blame an entire organization when he's doing things that no other Atlanta Hawk has ever done ever, and maybe will never do ever. I know that's a big, but look how long ago Dominique Wilkins played to Trae Young. That's the gap. Think about all the other teams who've had their great players over the decades, and look at the Hawks. How come it's just now that Trae is leading in assists? Doc Rivers to Trae Young. How come all the other point guards before Trae hadn't done that yet? How come we don't have a whole bunch of Hawks with 30 and 10 games in their careers? We're talking about LeBron James, James Harden and Russell Westbrook are the only ones ahead of Trae Young in 30 and 10 games in NBA history. Bron has played 19 seasons. If Trae fools around and plays 18, come on, like think about that. Just think about NBA history as a whole, what Trae is doing, and people are saying he's bad. He's not that good. He ain't great. He all right. And he's doing historical stuff that nobody else is doing. Nobody else is doing. Leading the NBA in assists regularly. He would have did it 3 years in a row if he hadn't gotten hurt. Y'all know that, right? He finished 8th after missing 28 games. He finished 8th. That's how much he passes the ball. And guess what? If he had more people who can actually finish shots, he would average even more assists a game because he's trying to pass the ball. He don't have to score. He scores by default because he got to sometimes. But if we had better players, he wouldn't have to. I said in his summer league, if we had the players, he would try to get 19 assists a game if he could. Uncle Steve. Hey, what's up, man? I have to talk to you tomorrow. In a while, I should say. 10 o'clock, Uncle Steve. I'll put it in here real quick. 10 p.m. So that being said, if nobody else has anything else, I'll keep it open for a second because I see a lot of people on. Like I said, I will be talking draft tonight for the Hawks. I will say this: I'm doing a little early. I do like the kid out of the G League, the Ignite team. I believe his name is. I got the wrong notes up here. Let's see. Is this it? Yep. I like the kid. His name is. Shoot, I gotta try to go through all these notes. There it is. Dang, where is he at? Ron Holland. He's 6'8". In G League, he was getting like 20 and 6.5, 7 boards a night. But he also gets 2.5 steals a game. He's getting after it. There was one game highlight I saw in a game. He had like 30 points and 5 steals. He's playing on the ball defense. He's a 6'8", small forward that's saying, I ain't trying to let you score. See, that's what we're supposed to have been getting out of Hunter. That's what we're supposed to be trying to get out of Hunter. And we can't even get more. We can get 0.03 steals out of Hunter. That's not enough. Is this the effort ain't there? And I showed y'all in that Boston footage and a lot of it in the Chicago footage. He just be kind of wandering out there. Just, I should get through this screen, but I'm gonna just let this man like hold me back. Hold me back. I ain't trying to get. No, that's not it. It's not cool. So that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. I don't see anybody else asking any more questions. Again, keep your thoughts with the family of Eddie Carswell. Again, he was a big deal in our sports community as Atlanta fans, Atlanta Hawks fans especially. Again, I did this show especially for Eddie because he was a big Trae Young fan, and I knew that. And so again, I wanted to do a full-blown. Y'all can try to blame Trae if you want to, but you really can't unless you just hate him. But it can't be about basketball. Hatred and criticism are two different things, and people want to laugh at it. I've seen comments with people laughing at that and stuff like that. No, you just hate Trae Young. Trae Young is scoring 25 and 10 for his career. He's going to break all of Nick's records if he plays here long enough. Dominique Wilkins, who has a statue without winning a championship, without winning an Eastern Conference championship, without getting past the second round. But nobody hates Dominique Wilkins. You just hate Trae Young for what you think, the perception of him. Oh, well, he's such a bad defensive player. The other 4 players can't play defense. Did y'all see that in an elimination game against the Chicago Bulls? Did y'all see Trae Young messing it up for all the other players? Can't say that. Now, if you're being logical, now if you can just be hateful, sure, you can say it. But it's just not true. It's just because you hate them. That's the difference. There's a big difference in that. So that's why I did this show, just to show Play by play. Here's all the shots that the Bulls hit. They shot 42% from three and had 72 points in the paint. Why aren't the big men being? Why aren't the big men preventing the 72 points in the paint? And why aren't your wing defenders stopping 42% from three? Because if that had happened, we beat the Bulls. Bulls don't win that game. I showed y'all what actually happened, though, and described it to you on top of that. You know how long it took to write those notes? Because I couldn't pause it. When I figured out there was no way for me to pause it, I was like, well, I could do two things. Write the notes or pull up all the footages individually and play it for y'all. Y'all would hear the vocal, but y'all wouldn't see it. And I could pause it and describe it. It was just much easier for me to just write it all down and then just show y'all the clips. So that's what I did. It took forever, but I did. Like I said, I was doing this for Eddie, so I went big with this particular show. I don't know how much I'll do that again next time. I don't know, because for the other games, I don't think I'm going to do video for all the shots. I'm going to just do a couple of shots here and there, because it takes a long time. You got to understand that. It takes a long time. And I got other stuff to do. But hopefully, like I said, y'all enjoy it. Please, one more time. And again, thanks for listening to the show, watching the show. If you haven't listened to the show, because there was a time we weren't doing streams back in the olden days, you know. So you can listen on Spotify around the ATL, Odyssey, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, I think Apple Music, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Google Play or whatever. Pretty much most of the platforms, if you type in around the ATL, you can listen to some of the past shows. Because we haven't done a lot of radio lately, there's not that many over the last couple of months. Most of everything has been here on the YouTube. So again, make sure you follow the YouTube for sure. But if you want to listen to some past shows, especially early on and stuff like that, the Dominique Wilkins interview, for instance, or John Collins, go listen on Spotify. If you want to know which show is which, just message me or whatnot. I'll hit you up. Again, follow me on Instagram, the radio program on Instagram. I'll pull it up real quick. Facebook or Instagram, IMTN Worldwide Radio. Okay. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, of course, Intellect ATL. I'm always on there pretty much. You can follow my personal Instagram if you want, IMTM1. But definitely follow me on Twitter. If anything, you can message me on there. Again, just follow the YouTube. That just helped me out even more. Like I said, I'm trying to get back regular again. We'll see if I can. We used to do Wednesday at 10 o'clock every Wednesday. So you can see it's Thursday. So we didn't make it yesterday. It was kind of my fault, though, in this case. But we're going to see what we can do. Again, 10 o'clock tonight, we will be on the air talking Braves, Falcons, Hawks, Atlanta Dream, Atlanta Vibe, everything Atlanta. We'll have a good time. It's a 2-hour show. You can call in. By the way, if you've never called in before, it is a clean show. So don't come in cussing and fussing because I'm going to have to disconnect you. Just give you a heads up. Gotta be nice, okay? That being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to play my outro, which I still haven't adjusted yet. I know I got to change some people on there, but it's still pretty cool promo for the show. So I keep it for a couple more weeks until I get the time to actually redo it with the new players because, we've got – the other reason I hadn't changed it yet because I know the draft was coming. So the NFL draft, of course, I got to switch some players out. But the NBA draft was coming, so I wanted to kind of wait for everything to kind of settle before I redid the intro again. So that's why it hasn't changed for the people who've been asking. But anyway, y'all take care. I want to say thanks to the people who did come in. Demond from Texas, Marion. I can't remember where Marion is from. And Uncle Steve, of course. I hadn't talked to Steve in a while. Appreciate you checking in. And everybody else who's been watching for the last hour or so. Wow, this is my longest show ever. 3.5 hours. What in the world? That's why we do a 2-hour show typically on the radio show to keep it within 2 hours. But this is probably the longest show I've ever did that I can remember. But I had to do it like this because I had to show it. I like proof. Proof positive. Proof is in the pudding, right? So I had to do it like that just for that reason. So thanks for everybody for watching. Y'all have a great rest of the day. If you get a chance to tune in later tonight, definitely feel free to do so. Hopefully I won't be asleep. But until then, y'all take care. This is Chris on Around the ATL on IMTN World. IMTN Worldwide Radio. Y'all take care till later. Peace.